carry, particularly Marcelius on the Apex side of things, they carry a lot of the weight of this squad. So I think those would be my 2 picks to watch.
I like the picks, and LukeBet has the live odds. And at least on Nuke, favoring Apex. And I mean, based on the data, I can't really blame them. Apex beat them last time. ESPADA has been very on Nuke lately. So that kind of makes sense, Scriv. But it looks like we're going to get right into some vent dives. Early smoke could allow someone to go through the door and get down vent if they so wish. But it's a front. It's a fake. They'll have a heaven smoke, and Dennis is catching them in the air. Patsy is gone. That player is stuck in island. Yeah, sure, his teammates have a site, but at what cost? Marcelius will find the next, and this bomb's trying to go down, Scriv.
I mean, yeah, they'll get that at the very least. So that is certainly something to work with. The 4-on-3 still looking good for the CT side. I think there's a smoke up at heaven that they're just waiting for that to dissipate. Flashes coming through. And the Glocks are trying their best. Oh my goodness, Dima. How does he not find a single frag there? That is so tough, but I ultimately do not think it would have made that much of a difference. Apex will be picking up the pistol, and a pretty clean one as well, with 4 players surviving.
Ooh. But with that bomb plant, Scriv, they're going for it. ESPADA, you know what? It's very ESPADA-like, isn't it? They're not the type of team to be playing reserved. I don't even know if that word's in the vocabulary. So, they're just going to go with some Galils, this hero AK. They literally are playing Nuke with 2 smokes. That is out there. Let's see how this one works out. All the while, Apex's utility and by themselves, yeah, has better firepower, but lacking that utility on top of it. A good scout tag onto Dennis. Sophic not wanting to test his luck anymore, but it gives Dexter confidence to peek him. And he just fell off the angle. Marcelius playing AC in towards heaven. Pretty relaxed, honestly, very quiet. But Apex know ESPADA forced at this point, so a little re-aggression from AKES. And it seems like ESPADA not being very shy about where they're going. They're stomping everywhere.
I think they're trying to encourage fights, right? They want the opportunity to present itself so that they have, well, a chance at finding a cheeky opener. We'll use what little utility they have to smoke off towards secret. Up close smokes. Marcelius with the spam, not able to find anything, so they're playing it nice and slow, not rushing in. They've got plenty of time. And the next line of defense will be Dennis, who, of course, tagged up from earlier on. This is where a nade or a molly could have come in very handy, but they do not have the option on the ESPADA side of things. They're going to have to move in. The heads show first, but he's not able to find them. I think he just about hit Dima, but through the stairs themselves. Gruss, meanwhile, is here pretty quickly, but also not really able to put up a good enough fight. It's a 4-on-2, a 4-on-1 as Apex get desperate to try and win back the site. It'll all be on to Truth in a 1-on-4. Not impossible, you know. I think they do need to be a bit careful here because they're all kind of low. And he is winning these fights. However, I think left a little bit too low there. If he'd have won that one, maybe you think in the 1v1 he could get it done, but it's not going to be the case. So ESPADA will indeed win that very weak buy attempt in the second round.
Wow. They get it across the line. I bet Dima wishes that AK was still there for him to grab. I think there's a AUG he'd happily upgrade to, and an M4. There you have it. Truth will live with the AK, and his teammates run double save, so they're going to be buying. Truth could drop an MP9 or something similar. They're definitely going to be purchasing. Yeah, he's gone for the scout for Marcelius. And worst case situation for Apex, no doubt. Having a forced buy here on the CT side this early is going to hurt your build-up. And ESPADA look to just run this one over. A full buy finally for them. And they've put in the hard work, so they get the reward, Scriv. Just how it goes.
A nice little opener as well, so I think they are setting themselves up quite well. Just got to be careful of the AK. And Truth is getting kind of proactive here. Oh, caught in transition, but he is able to win the fight against one. Immediately traded back. So I feel that's fair enough. The AK retrieved by Marcelius. He somehow wins that fight. So again, the pressure back on with the AK in play. Gruss can't find a frag. He can't escape either. That is such a shame. He was really the difference maker to cut them off towards this B bomb site. Marcelius will be here nice and fast and might be able to find another frag or two, but of course smoked off. The T side now showing a bit more respect, but through the smoke, Marcelius, his spidey senses do be tingling, and he's able to find that spray down into a 2-on-2 now. An M4 picked up for Dennis as well. So this suddenly becomes a lot more interesting, and Marcelius, he's got the lineup, but the door not open for him, and he certainly wasn't feeling it there. He may well go down through the door. No, not going to be the case. Eventually, Patsy finds him, but it's still a one-on-one. Dennis, unfortunately, on 19 HP. He can't get it done. But my goodness, these rounds are coming awfully close.
Back and forth we go. Trading kills appropriately. Non-stop action with Apex's lower buy. They nearly make it work. Marcelius with the AK pickup. And it rings true for him for a few kills here. Even a little bit of a lucky one on Sonfig. Just couldn't win that last needed fight. They did everything well up to that point. And now ESPADA. Couple AKs in hand, some MAC 10s. Gonna try to just catch a couple players snapping towards outer yard. Marcelius is gonna wait. He's gonna try to time it so he catches the last player as he creeps through. And Dexter seems a little paranoid. Gets caught falling, but still the AK. Not gonna miss at that range. He's gonna cross while the smokes are still up. And he gets caught awkwardly in the open, but he still makes it down safely. Yeah, Truth's here with the USP. But unless that turns into a deagle. Okay, it just did. Okay. Yeah, goodbye, Dima. He even has the Zeus in hand. Molly's not going to quite flush him out. Good thing for Dexter for coming through. And it seems like a USP can turn into a deagle. You just have to wish upon it happening, Scriff.
Yeah, a bit of fairy dust maybe. I'm not sure. Definitely was pretty funny though. You'd written him off.
Like perfectly. I was like, nah, I'm not going to get... And okay.
But beyond that, no more Deagles disguised as USPs in play, and they will clean up house. Only losing the one player. So all good, all that good stuff that we like to talk about in terms of getting the economy rolling and whatnot. Coming through for ESPADA. Probably can stomach a loss here. But already up to 3 rounds, and the fact that they have control early on into this T side is somewhat worrying in a lot of different ways, right? Obviously, Nuke not really meant to play into the T side. ESPADA very momentum based, and if their individuals get rolling, it could be very scary here for APEKS. So I think probably with this round, APEKS need to stem the bleeding, need to fight back cleanly. But certainly easier said than done. They've got the AWP in play, fair amount of utility to work with, no kits. So those are kind of the few things to consider coming into this round that'll probably have an impact for the CT side. At the moment, very, very slow approach from ESPADA. If any approach so far, the smokes will come over the top, and now I think they will indeed look to try and take some fights. The wider outside execute. Marcelius, though, hidden at the top of Secret. I don't think they're going to be ready for him to be here. You know, the molly's gone down. They've smoked it. Oh, but he misses the sitter and surely goes down now. No. Able to survive. Gets the harder shot. The nade bounces a bit too far away. Doesn't quite take him down. Molly coming in, but while they're focusing on him, Makez through the smoke will find 2. Eventually, they start falling, but the damage has been done. It's a 1-on-2 for Dima. Truth is above him, and Truth will take him down. APEKS, the round that they needed to put a stop to things, at least for now, they're able to pick it up. So a really good chance for them to kind of close the gap here and maybe break the economy of ESPADA.
Yeah, right when they need to. You can't allow ESPADA to start to get comfortable on this T side and feel like they're in control of the pace and they control this match. The moment you do that, you've lost your advantage on CT side. So this is a huge round for APEKS. Not only for round count, right? Because they win this, it should count as 2, but also for your own self-esteem and control of the game on the CT side. I thought those opening nades would have been decent. Interesting to me that Dima's taking a deagle instead of asking for an SMG drop. Just an interesting little note. As Dennis about to get flashed through, or is just gonna play the crack in the smoke. Here comes the flash. I have no idea what happened there. Marcelius peeks from secret. Dennis got hit by the molly and then got deleted. But Truth is actually cutting everyone down from the heavens. He rings true and he cuts down 3. That's how Truth rolls. Gruss gets the last, and that is exactly what the Apex boys ordered. ESPADA, yeah, immediately with a timeout, because that round was messy.
Huge, actually. Absolutely huge. But like you say, that timeout needed, and hopefully ESPADA can get something off the back of it. Probably not into this round, but into the next we would expect. You never know, they might go for something here, try and body block their way into event dive or something along those lines. But this back and forth nature kind of continues. Neither team really able to solidify their position in the lead. Apex on the run back, looking to find some comfort on this CT side. And I think very early on we are kind of seeing from ESPADA that they're playing this T side really reactive. They do seem to have the outside executes and everything prepared, but not quite as comfortable around them as they would like to be, I don't think. So it certainly is proving a little difficult. And Apex, where there is that round where it's like, okay, we crushed them here and we're going to get past them and start to really expand our lead, Apex are able to answer back and have themselves a solid couple of rounds. Yeah, I suppose we'll pretend we didn't see that so much.
We
Dennis,
saw nothing.
that's unlucky. The guys are here. The gang is here to clean up house, but that is definitely
I know
unlucky.
what went wrong with Dennis there, though. He didn't have his pistol out.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, they were all dead. Softvic knows he can't get the plant, wants to just try to find Gruss. And I don't think that went according to his plan.
No.
The glass gets broken in case of emergency. And Hellcase is here for the sake of your skins. Malta V, extra money. Malta V 15% refill bonus. It's the place to open cases, hundreds of cases. Fun esports tournament mode, by the way. And giveaways all the time. Hellcase are an awesome partner to have, and we invite you to check them out in the banner below. Please do so. They're homies. ESPADA back with a buy. No more pistols for them AKs, and it looks like they want to pick up the pace a wee bit. Fighting and jockeying for control in towards lobby and Squeaky, all the while prodding towards outside. Interesting to note, round 8, no ops have made an appearance yet. I have a feeling if this round gets lost by Apex, we'll see it in the following, but not at the moment.
Yeah, definitely a rarity. I think Marcelius had one in one round, but kind of died with it immediately and too expensive to bring into play. He's just not quite feeling it, I suppose. But yeah, it was from here, right? And he landed like one shot and then just got naded to high hell. So interesting though that he's holding the same angle just with an AK. Ooh, that timing is absolutely perfect. He nearly fluffs it, but it's all good. Akez also finding Finnegan, I believe, over at ramp. So a 5-on-3 immediately out of the gate here. Patsy, clean headshot onto Gruss. He's going to open up this B bomb site. Marcelius is down awfully quickly from Dart, but can't get anything done. And suddenly the round has been ripped right open. The door left open, but on purpose, apparently. Dexter just finding every head. Will eventually drop. But not before it's a 2-on-2, and not before this CT side has split up, mollied out. One left on half HP, no information to work with. Meanwhile, the T's are fluid, moving together, finding the clean headshots on the double peak. All onto Dennis, and he suffers the same fate. Patsy comes in with a huge 4K for ESPADA, as we will once again see the scoreline evened up.
I'm sensing a trend here. Neither team's really pulling ahead. I mean, ESPADA, if you continue to trade like this, right, it favors them in the long run. But right now, it's anyone's have to really take control of. One little change in the pace from Apex, maybe one set round from ESPADA, and that could be the difference maker going forward. Finnegan, again, going to be throwing some nades towards Squeaky, as he would like to try to open up this round for ESPADA. Opening picks have not been given a plenty to ESPADA. APEKS have honestly, all things considered, have been playing relatively safe in their defaults. Not getting too aggressive, not taking too many risks. I like this move from Dima. It forces that player down the ramp, and he can't come back up with fear of someone creeping on him. So that Heaven player has to make a move now, right? They need information elsewhere. I have a feeling ESPADA are going to try to send one player outside, get the rest towards ramp, maybe one player holding vents. Nothing too fancy. And yeah, Finnegan's just going to be met with an angry Dennis. No way you're getting down there, are you, Scriv?
No, sir. Maybe get down ramp, though. Maybe not quite as easily as they thought, however. And the frags keep coming in for the CT side here. Looking pretty comfortable for APEKS. Not sure what the thinking is here. Dexter hanging behind. I mean, the idea in and of itself not that bad, but he's got the bomb, so it just slows down the movement from ESPADA as a whole and allows the CTs to clear a few more angles. There's a guy in the form of Dennis ready behind the double doors. We got Truth and Decon. They are surrounding this bomb site cleanly. First fight is lost, but Marcelius in with a quick flick. Okay, it's not all bad. Dexter, meanwhile, 1 versus 3, not looking good. Similar kind of position as we were in. Has managed to get the first, and 63 HP is certainly doable for him. That spray down is genius. No one's on the bomb just yet. Looking for the third, and he gets it. Dexter, all 3 in and around, up and down. What a beast.
I mean, he is just in top form. That play has just pure confidence. Finding the 1v1s, the wherewithal to play around with the doors and catch APEKS napping, and then takes the fight on his terms in towards control. That is a player who is overflowing with confidence and a player who needed to pick up a round for his team, and he does so. He is just that guy for ESPADA all the time. And at a key moment, nonetheless, isn't it, Scriv? You break APEKS's cash, they're forced into a save. You're looking at 6 on the T side. And for a map that you've been struggling on, I'm even going to go pull up the stats and see how their T side statistics typically are. But I get the feeling this is better than the norm.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. Like, they tend to have well thought out and good fundamentals on the T side, right? CIS team, you definitely expect that. But their CT sides, particularly at this level, I find are more prominent. Got him with the Zeus. I thought he was just going to go down, but he was the one that made the move.
Oh,
okay,
so
maybe we got to hold the point as well, because the Ds. Hold on.
Oh, holding.
Truth?
Holding. All right.
Okay, no, I think we're good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're good. All right, hit me with them numbers.
Yeah. A couple interesting ones here. So their T-side win percentage is 46%, which isn't so bad. You kind of want it near 50, but it is a CT-sided map. So the interesting points for me is mainly T-round win percentage, 49%, a little low, all things considered, 46 to 48 in that category. But the stats that, again, stick out is round win percentage after getting first kill. This goes for T and CT sides. Is only 69.2%. And the round win percentage after receiving the first death, which might be par of the course with Nuke, but looks low, it's 29.7%. So they're coming out really hot, and they've even been able to win rounds at disadvantages. So that's a good change from them.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it plays into that fact that I think ESPADA across the board have so much firepower that their CT sides tend to be pretty scary because, you know, getting through and exploiting a single area is very, very difficult. So it does kind of play into their wheelhouse and bodes very well, of course. Already on 6 rounds, certainly potential to get more than this. So APEKS, I think, yeah, on their own map pick, moving into their worst map, or well, I guess second worst map ahead of the permaban. Yeah, maybe not so good. Maybe not so good. We definitely said that to stay alive in this series, they need to be finding this first map. Like, it is paramount to denying a 2-0.
Oh, this is going to get weird. Truth could be in some trouble. He's playing a close off angle. Finnegan, the right eye peek, stands tall, shuts him down. Here comes Finnegan and co. APEKS could be in some trouble, and yes, sir. Where's the save call? Marcelius will try. Gruss is going to fight back with 2. And it's Dennis in a 1v1. They've traded it back, and Dennis clutches up. A 3v5. They come through the smokes, up the vents, through lobby, and they somehow out-trade ESPADA. Can't explain that one away, Scriv.
I just think the chaos and the madness of it all, right? Playing against ESPADA. They were not ready. They were not fully respecting. That was pretty damn good from Dennis, though. Right place, right time at the end. But yeah, I do think ESPADA just not disciplining themselves once they got the bomb down, not reining it in, really cost them there. Still have the money to buy, though, thanks to the bomb plant, particularly if you look at some of these players with no money left at all. So still not out of the woods, if I'm honest, right? Like, APEKS still this worrying kind of position. I think conceding 6 rounds is the maximum that they need to allow. Finnegan once again finds an opener. And APEKS may be right back to square one. Will they have another miracle kind of situation? The likelihood is less coming into this round, considering they've just had one.
Yeah, this is at least a good opening pick, but look at the utility remaining for APEKS, right? It's a molly, some flashes. Not really ideal. That puts Gruss in an awkward spot because his rotator isn't going to have anything to really help him. So Spotter's just going to group. They have a player walking outside by Island and Patsy. APEKS still a strong setup on A, right? One player up in the rafters. AKE's going to be playing this door angle pretty heavy, Scriv. They're going to need some good luck to break in here on Spada. AKE's just getting one. It's not good enough. Dennis going to try to come through the smoke while Marcelius drops. They're going to look to fight. Can Dennis shut this down with him? Yes, sir. 2 for the Dennis. Marcelius gets traded, and the spray from Patsy connects. Another barn-burning round.
I mean, dude, it's another crazy round. Like, ESPADA seem to be, at least in the past few, maybe trying to abuse the fact that they feel APEKS, A, not running AWPs, and B, lacking in utility probably because of the way that the finances are going and the way that rounds are coming really, really close, so they might not have as much as they want. And also, I think ESPADA have realized very early on that this squeaky door controllers we're going to see coming into this round as well, although not really against any weaponry of too much repute, they haven't been smoking or mollying or nading back through squeaky door early on the APEKS side of things, and ESPADA really looking to abuse that fact by rushing into it the past couple of rounds. I guess it doesn't work a couple ago, but in the last one it did. APEKS certainly feeling the burn, and because of the fact these rounds come close and then they lose one, APEKS just do not have the money line to keep buys coming. So we see them on an eco. ESPADA going to be up to 8. They'll be winning the half, mathematically speaking, and may well be able to go further. So this is a really, really decent position for the T side to be in already. And it's about to get better, and it could get even better. It's absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you. Like, APEKS just not keeping up. And this is something that, you know, on Friday, I believe it was, I was covering them as well as they made their run through the groups in the first couple of games that they had. And they just didn't seem to be playing to the level of their opponents. I think they certainly are capable. They have some great individual moments. They have Marcelius fairly consistent. They have Truth performing kind of well. And they did manage to nearly pull it back on 2 of, you know, and eventually they did take it over the line, I believe, to stay alive. And then beating out Selector, which is the one that I didn't watch. But yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. Another rush coming in. This time, not going to work out at all. Truth with the double spray down from heaven. Akez on top of Hut. You are not beating this position, sir. And ESPADA with the disrespect rush. Massively disrespectful rush, actually. Does not work at all. They only eliminate 1 player, so not the best. And now they have a pretty terrible bye coming into the final round on the likes of Patsy, the likes of Topfik. So we'll see what they can get done with this. Opening pick coming in. Dexter going to fall. So the AWP for the T side, I believe the first time that we've seen it actually not working out. Truth as well, dropping Sotfik. 5-on-3. Another speedy attempt from ESPADA. I think what they've kind of said in the team speak or whatever is like, we're just better players than these guys. Maybe we should just try and out-aim them. And it worked a little bit, but not a massive amount. This is really fallen apart in the past couple of rounds. But then at the same time, I think with 8 rounds already on the board, they're happy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a ESPADA, you can't be really upset about this. They're starting to pull this one back, purely based on APEKS just showing face. And Finnegan's just playing the long game here. He's going to let Dima be the sound distraction, right? Let him be the guy that's selling this ramp. And he's going to wait for APEKS or Truth to make a move. As soon as they show themselves to Finnegan, he is ready. But that angle sucks, apparently. APEKS sees him first. Finnegan did not stand a chance. Now it is purely based on Dima. He knows someone's going top putt. He knows there's at least 2A, so ramp is going to be his go-to. Should be able to get down and get a bomb planted, but after that, who really knows? I bet he wished that smoke actually hit instead of just throwing it wildly.
Yeah, I think he's maybe a bit annoyed at himself there, but still the 1-on-3 was going to be difficult for him. And also, 8 rounds on the T side, pretty nice. When you're typically stronger on your CT side of a CT side of map, pretty nice. And I feel like, as we've mentioned, pound for pound, ESPADA, just a better team across the board. There's maybe a couple places, when we get a bit of a look at the scoreboard here on the half time, that they could look to exploit. But even then, you know, I think that's still going to be difficult. It seems Sotfik not having the best of games with only 3 frags. The odds, though, shifting a bit more in favor of ESPADA, which is definitely a change from the beginning of the game. So certainly proving themselves, and LootBet have indeed moved. Our betting partners have indeed moved their opinion as well. In towards hell we go. Finnegan holding down with the USP, just spamming away, not able to find anything. APEKS have clearly worked on some kind of a methodology here to just overwhelm certain areas of the map, and the kills are not coming in fast enough from the CT side. 3-on-2, Dexter's going to go speedy up the ladder, and again, just wildly spamming away here, but nothing substantial coming in for the CT side. Dennis continues to drive by with that Glock, and it will all be on to Dexter. Not sure if there's a kit anywhere. He's got too many angles, so really doesn't matter. He doesn't get a chance to defuse, and APEKS will be picking up the second half pistol.
That's always a nice thing to have, isn't it? Confident buy right here. ESPADA gonna do their typical force, see what they're rocking there. And honestly, they seem to be settling in nicely on this T side earlier, APEKS. I know it's just a pistol, and this is really going to be a sign to me as how they're going to control the pace on this T side and fight off these CTs. Force buy rounds are a good default testing round to really see where your default's at and where it could use some work. APEKS just grouping up and coming in towards ramp. Dexter can be met with a couple AKs. Can't quite get the tag, but he will catch one as they fall. If he can find one more, that's pretty sweet. Yes, look at the damage. That's even a 1 for 2. Truth's gonna swing and make sure they both perish. But you know what? This damage could be turnable.
Yeah, definitely workable. Definitely workable, and there it is. Dima creeping in, able to find the head of Gruss. It's a little overkill, but all the same. First frag coming in for that CT side. Truth up top, trying to make some noise. No one really around, but he's clearing the bomb site out for his boys who are all at heaven. He's in mini. Are they ready for him? Shadow spotted. He doesn't get the second.
Wow.
So still a 2-on-2. This is workable. Again, it is not out of the realms of doability, and we're back from a 5-on-3 into a position like this. Nade available for Patsy could drop either of these players if it's well placed enough. Akez, though, that's such a shame we don't see it from his perspective, you know, because he gets the double spray down with the nade coming in. I'm sure he was sweating to find those frags, because player on high was not very healthy at all.
Well, now it is just USPs, it is. Not a lot of luck going for him there. A Bison for Marcelius. I knew Marcelius was a smart player, but I didn't realize he was so smart to go for the Bison. I do respect the decision, though.
Making money.
Yeah.
That's his goal.
Underrated is the Bison, in my opinion. Underrated. Really? Yeah, I think the armor pen's good. You get max law. You get, like, tons of bullets. Don't really have to reload. You get, like, the most money you can out of an SMG, right? It's all right. I mean, besides the fact that it sprays like a kicking horse, like it's hard, you can't really control it. But other than that, you know.
I mean, I think in a round like this, but Dennis has taken all the kills, so like what? The Bison's just done nothing. Now he's got to use it in a rifle round. That is so unlucky. He ran out of bullets. Unlucky for Dexter. But Marcelius, you know, he buys the Bison, does nothing. Well, I mean, he gets one kill, and then he trades it out for an AK. So, he is making money. Like, that is absolute stonks, that is. But here we go. First rifle round of the second half. Serious business, as Apex are really starting to expand their lead ever so slightly. Just a couple rounds in it. But if they can keep this CT economy broken more often than not, then they're probably going to be able to edge things out in this second half, which is part of maybe not what we were expecting. ESPADA a really great start into the first half. Talking of great starts, Truth is able to find the head of Finnegan pretty quickly. We're in a 5-on-4 in favor of Apex. Not looking good for ESPADA.
Oh, this fight is pivotal. Dima comes out on top. His nade, sure, damage, but his staying alive there is more like just so more important. As now his teammates have to make aggressive plays across the board. Patsy has to kind of walk outside. He's not ready for Dennis's off angle, and it's all on Sophic essentially. Can he double down here? Can he get 2, even 3? As the bomb plant will come in, it's on the other side of Silo, and Sophic will let them know he's here. His spam will be for naught as Truth jumped up on the Silo, and I think Sophic is just planning on packing it in and backing up with Dexter. And that is the move. Apex get to 11. This T side controlling the pace well, Scriv. They're fighting on their terms, and ESPADA seem just a little scrambled across the board right now.
Yeah, definitely lost. Oh no, Dexter. I think he goes down the nade, surely. Damn. damn. That's pretty huge, actually, dropping that up. Kind of means that I think they were... I don't know, actually. They could have dropped across. They really wanted to, but with only one surviving, not a chance. The pause coming in from ESPADA. Well, time to indeed talk things over, figure things out. It has become a bit of a worrisome position here, like you say. Although we've only seen the one rifle round, Apex looked commanding in that one round. So if that continues for the rest of the half, I think we are in trouble if you're an ESPADA fan, an ESPADA player. But they know it, and I think it's respectable that a team like this, that likes to play aggressive, likes to play loose and reactive, still being smart with the pauses on their opponent's map pick. You know, we'd see some teams in this kind of position go, whatever, dude, we'll just 2-1 them. Like, you know, we lose nuke, that's fine. Mirage and overpass, easy. But that's not the approach they're coming in. Their overconfidence, not really a problem, and I like it. I respect it.
Will these Deagles be able to get the first that ESPADA desperately needs, Scriv? It's been a hot minute since they've gotten the opening pick on the CT side. And Truth's not going to let that slip away. The AK, the M4 will fall. Dexter in with the CZ, but he can't retreat. And that should just about do it. Patsy alone, Deagle in hand, spotted. And Gruss will control the spray. Put enough bullets into his toes. call it a pedicure. As it's 12-8 now. Dexter gets his up at least, Scriv. Full utility for the CT side. No more messing about. This has got to be a winnable round for ESPADA.
Yeah, this needs to work. And unlike the ESPADA T side, APEKS are on the AWP just as soon as they can be, so it's not like Dexter has a free pass. Trying to set himself up though, looking to drop down. He's not able to get fully down, and they're not expecting him here in the top of secret. Massive frags coming in. Gruss is able to drop Patsy, but Dexter doing so much work. This could be huge. It could make all the difference, right? The A-hole just needs to stand strong by the looks of things. They will be moving in through Hut in just a few moments' time. In fact, already there, Marcelius trying to ring off a quick shot and drop Sotfik, but Sotfik playing the tightest angle he possibly can, so that is super difficult for Marcelius, and they both kind of just concede and walk away. Meanwhile, Gruss ready and waiting to burst out here as soon as that heaven area seems caught off, seems surprised. Oh, Sotfik. Did he notice him? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Yeah, it looks like it, but the angle is just there for Gruss. Sotfik playing it a little bit flat will get taken down. Meanwhile, Dima comes in from below. It's all on to Marcelius. 1 on 3. Let's drop the first. Bakes out the bomb plant. But I think Dima is happy to wait nice and patient because his teammate, in the form of Dexter, of course, is coming round with the flank.
Yeah, the longer this takes, the more Marcelius is going to get a bit of a read. Does he get timinged? He's going top putt. And he is just going to realize doors closed. He's going to drop down. 25 seconds. No one's really in close proximity to chase. That should be a plant for Marcelius. And they're both going ramp. And if they do not peek him together, he could be deadly. The first is secured for Marcelius. The third required. The peek for Marcelius, and he's done it. That one stings. ESPADA let it slip. And they just give too much room to Marcelius, and he makes them pay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like follow him down vent. The ramp push just plays into his hands perfectly. In and around that silo, as we see. Kills all over the place, by the way. But yeah, I just drop down the vent, and you can pressure decon. You can pressure the double doors, but I suppose you got to make those decisions quickly. Didn't quite work out. Great nade. It is a shame Dexter's still alive on 17 HP, but a really well-timed follow-up nade from that initial spray. As you can see, just a half buy coming in from ESPADA, so it cost them in a big way that previous round. Would have been a chance for them to, at the very least, feel a bit confident in their CT side, yet to pick up a round. Truth just holding things down super clean here. Will eventually drop, but so much damage done. 2 kills and numerous low HP players. One of them already falling. It should be all but over here for APEKS. And up to 14 with massive amounts of pressure on ESPADA coming into the next rifle round. So I feel APEKS, you know, they could go for a flawless D side and just take us to Mirage a little prematurely.
Oh, wow. I mean, Truth is just playing some really good Counter-Strike right now. Marcelius and Truth guiding the way for APEKS, while ESPADA fall flat on a CT side scrape. It's been a while since we've seen them pick up a round, let alone string some together. Even with this bye, my confidence in them is dwindling. APEKS have handled every situation well. They're being able to get the clutches. They're trading out on ESPADA. They're baiting out these rotates. APEKS are just playing a really good game of Nuke right now, and ESPADA seemingly just no answers, Scriv, across the board. They're going to try to force the smoke out here. They need someone to step up, right? Someone has to be able to get the first, and it's Marcelius to deny it. Patsy seemingly in a one and done now with no support, no backup. He's lost another teammate, and that is just a summary of this game, this round right here.
Yeah, rough stuff. Real rough stuff. Marcelius is really playing well here on this T side. I mean, he was already doing a decent enough job on the CT side of things of being that top fragger for his squad, but on the T side, leading the way with the AWP, my goodness, he's pretty unstoppable. And could be worrisome. I mean, there's certainly potential for him on Mirage to take over that game and have the same kind of impact. Maybe not so much on the T side of things. It is a little unorthodox to be putting so much pressure, so much weight on the T side up. But CT side, certainly. If he can hit this same kind of level, it could be hard for Dexter to keep up with him. And Sotfik just caught sleeping. Akez going to drop him. Again, that kind of surmises things really, really well. And they're looking for the flawless T half. 9 in a row, I do believe, is what they'd be looking at. Already 8 in a row to take it to map points. They've got 7 to play with. ESPADA would need to change history because they are yet to pick up a round. Like, this is kind of crazy and really not what any of us were expecting. APEKS just playing a completely different game on this T side.
Yeah, they're just, that's the perfect like description, right? Playing their game. They're not playing into ESPADA. ESPADA are not playing to counter APEKS at the moment either, right? No lobby crunches. There's some outside pressure, but if you lose your opper and support early, then you're really nervous. They're not winning those opening duels. This round they have no utility, really, just outside of Finnegan, who's a downgraded for it. APEKS are feeling pretty good. Sure, Dexter spots that player on Island, but he can't even continue to hold it. As the counter smokes will come in for APEKS now to try to bail out the opper. Truth, again, who else other than him to open it up towards Squeaky? How many times have we seen him get a kill from that position? He's even going to be creeping out. He'll finally get caught by Patsy, but Gruss willing and waiting to wait as Finnegan's in some trouble. Gruss has a one-way, and he'll punish you twice. Dexter and Demo, what can you do?
Just have to watch and hope that they can pick things up here. Dexter looking good as he does pick up 2 very quickly. Dima as well chiming in. Really nice stuff off the back of each other. And Dennis can't get it done onto Dima, so there you are. ESPADA, finally. It takes the map point klaxon to kick them into gear, but kick into gear they shall, and finally picking up a round on the CT side. So far, we look at it, it's a consolation round. Not quite believing just yet, but it is something to go off, and APEKS plenty of cash to play with. However, I think now having their confidence checked ever so slightly. So we'll need to give that respect across and maybe change things up a bit to be finding the 16th round.
Utility sprinkled in. Marcelius. Okay, that's a pre-fire and a half. He's so close. Dima's nervous. Patsy. Big first win. They finally get a first blood scriv. Untraded. Until Dima's going to get chased out of ramp. Dexter's on his way. He's moving those little legs as fast as they can carry him to find Gruss. And that is how the CT side works. You rotate, you shift, you support each other. And you're up by 2 men as this B site hits coming in. Dima playing a head angle in dark. Not a single kill from the side anchor, but that's what Patsy's there for. To bail him out in case of failure. They'll have to back on up with that molly coming in. But in a 4v2, almost unlosable. But APEKS are going to give it a go.
May as well. Still comfortable, right? Still got that cash money. Any damage that they can do on the comeback train is absolutely huge. Marcelius too fast for Finnegan. And that is a worrying sign. If you're taking shots like that, Truth pushing forwards does get traded quickly. And Dexter knows where Marcelius is at. But my God, like, you really do believe in APEKS to do that. The speed at which they find those 2 frags is just one too many for both players, respectively. So ESPADA are able to pick up that 10th. And yeah, it's certainly making them sweat a little bit, but like I say, they have plenty of cash. Probably take another loss on the chin as well. So really, really, really hard work cut out for ESPADA. They need to find a couple clean ones in a row before they have a tiny amount of time, possibly, to breathe a sigh of relief. I think if bomb plants are consistent from APEKS, they probably won't be able to have that sigh of relief and gain a bit of breathing room. So yeah, really making it hard for themselves here on this comeback. But past couple rounds, definitely looking better.
It's one of those things of like, is it too little? Is it too late, right? Are they able to run it all the way back 5 rounds in a row on this CT side. Gonna have to get through this buy, a next, a couple forces, and then another rifle. So it's gonna be a lot for ESPADA to handle. Not counting them out, but they're definitely gonna have to continue this style of play they've been doing these last few. As APEKS looking for an opening pick with Marcelius through Squeaky into Mini, and if Finnegan's not careful, he could be the victim. Didn't get communicated to Patsy that door is open and an op is posted. But Crisis is averted. Good spray in from Truth. I don't know, a couple bullets might have landed, but not the case. And now after no luck with that squeaky pick from APEKS, the reset button has been hit. And it looks like they're going to send Marcellus towards outer yard. Look for him to get boosted on red box after clearing big garage. And just look for him to try to work a pick. 26 and 14, by the way.
Machine. Absolute. I mean, it's kind of what we expect at this point, though. Oh, Patsy, lovely flash for him. Does take down the big man, but Dennis trades him back. That 1-for-1 generally works out for the CT side, but maybe nullified ever so slightly because Dennis is left low. See how the rest of the T side react, and well, Gruss the only one to move into the auto shotty. That is pressure that they're now going to have to deal with, and added pressure. Dexter goes down outside, but still, yeah, back of silo, front of silo. They've got too many targets to go for. Finnegan capitalizes, and it's all on Dennis. 25 HP. He knows where the bomb is, but other than that, he has very little idea. Particularly this 5th man, Dima. Where is he? Really does not know. And of course, Finnegan has changed angles. Great angle from him. Able to pick up that final frag. So on to 11. Bomb plant denied away. Still money for APEKS to buy up, but ESPADA looking a little more confident. Only surviving with 2 there, though, Keith. So maybe not the best. Maybe not the best. They're certainly getting close on the APEKS side.
Yeah, they're slowly getting there, right? They've put ESPADA in a weird spot. Couple players, well, just Demo without utility, but APEKS are getting there. ESPADA just 4 more. Here's that other buy I was talking about. Now, keep in mind, all the while these rounds keep going, APEKS are building that loss bonus, so it's not going to quickly just magically run out of money. There's a lot for ESPADA to continue to do. A lot of work left on the table. 1 round at a time. But if Dexter has his op and his rifles are supporting and trading, it can happen. Flash it, will pump in the smokes while they bland. That's a pretty cool little trick. And Dennis just gonna march his way into secret. The big garage player certainly heard that, and they're going to be aware of it. But as the squeaky smoke starts to fade, ESPADA are gonna start to get a picture as to what's going on. And they'll ice out Dennis for now. But it looks like APEKS want to just come through squeaky, maybe do a vent dive. That is the case. Maybe. Okay, Finnegan, what is that? How does he pull 3 out of thin air? It looked like APEKS wanted to do a vent dive, right? Then Dennis was like, no, I'm smoked off. That player comes back up vent. They try to fight the site players, and well, the outcome is apparent. There you are, Finnegan. Quiet all game, but that was his round.
Yeah, absolute beast mode for sure. When his team needs him most, really could be the play that makes the difference. But we'll see. We'll see. The auto shotgun making an appearance once again. Opening on its way. There's a missed shot, unfortunately, but. Creep their way in. I mean, this is what we were kind of talking about. Confident in their economy.
Early shots ringing out. APEKS are coming. Dima hears the storm. He'll have support from Dexter in the op, holding his control. With the double doors being open, they're starting to close the gap. Dexter blind. Truth runs him over. Dima just takes his time, but only the one secured. Op picked up for Truth. Dennis still has his AK. Only 1 kill behind in the chase here, our Apex. Well, ESPADA will flash, try to take control. Paxi peeks alone. Mistake number 1. Will there be a second? As Truth is going to walk push all the way down here. Finnegan looks to be ready. He's not even looking. Truth with one more. The shotgun's not enough, and that's how they win it. Absurd, Scriv. An ace from Truth with a picked up op.
Yeah, I mean, pretty crazy for sure. But like, it felt kind of inevitable. We were getting there, and ESPADA definitely showing some strong moments and whatnot, but not really enough in the end, I don't think. And yeah, APEKS, that T side was very scary indeed. So I don't know. ESPADA definitely not their map pick, not a great map for them historically, and APEKS have clearly done work on that T side of things, but still APEKS almost taking them to the bank by like rolling them over pretty quickly. It nearly was that flawless T side, and they kind of let the ball drop a little. So maybe we'll see moving into Mirage, they can put up a bit of a better fight.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. And keep in mind, that was almost, again, the 4th 16-13 loss in a row. It was 16-12 this time. So ESPADA take 1 step back. That's 5 in a row on Nuke they've lost. And as Scriv mentioned, Mirage is next. And the APEKS boys are looking quite warm. But it's ESPADA's bounce back map. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's time to see double.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best nickel fights I've been to.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a vibing break. That's kind of catchy. I might start using that more often. My name's Keith LaFortune. Joining me once again is Scriv, and it's semifinals map number 2 between APEKS and ESPADA. Malta Vibes, keep in mind, is brought to you by Gaming Malta. It's the home of gaming excellence, and currently this map in Mirage. Scriv, initial feelings going into it, was Nuke close enough for you to continue to give the edge to ESPADA here?
Yeah, I think so, right? They bring it within 4 rounds, although you can argue there's a bit of complacency from APEKS. We did start to see the ESPADA that we know on that CT side, I think, not ready for the preparation that APEKS had clearly put into that T side. It was a really, really, really strong T side to begin with what, the eight in a row, 7 in a row? Regardless, it looked really good, and I just don't think ESPADA were ready for it. However, it's not a map that typically they're very strong on, so I feel part of that was coming into play as well. Like, they're not stressing themselves out, trying to pull it back, trying to keep it competitive, just sort of going with the flow, as it were. But definitely after an 8-round T-half from them, you do expect something maybe a little better, but I don't think it's so one-sided or so good from APEKS that we now come into Mirage and go, APEKS, the worst map that they play, they're now going to steal this one away from ESPADA when it's like a top 3 map for them. So yeah, I feel at least coming into Mirage, Overpass, we'll see how Mirage goes, and it does raise some questions for the third map perhaps, with how well APEKS looked initially on that T side. But coming into Mirage, I just don't think there's quite enough weakness from ESPADA to allow APEKS to steal this.
Yeah, let me just throw some numbers at you, because we did it for Nuke and ESPADA. Let's do it for Mirage and APEKS. They're in a 5-map losing streak on Mirage. Losses to Scathe 16-6, Selecta, ESPADA, Singularity, Fours. They only have wins over, alternate attacks on or some Budapest 5. Good teams get wins over, but then you lose to X Smash, you have losses to Amiga, and it kind of snowballs. I'm just going to throw some stats at you while we watch Knife Round, Scriv, because it's fun, right? All their stats on this map for them are in the red. They're 3-10 on this map, a 23% win rate. Their pistol win percentage is 26%. Their CT win round percent is 41. T round is 43. They only win 60 rounds after getting the first kill, and this stat is the kicker. They only win 19.8% of rounds after receiving the first death on a map like Mirage, which individual plays should thrive, and that number should be higher. So definitely a map they've been struggling on, to say the least.
Yeah, this is rough stuff. Rough stuff for sure. And I believe, just caught it towards the end there, I believe they lose out on the knife round as well. ESPADA are going to be starting on the CT side of things. So very, very comfortable coming into their own map pick. This could be just a quick kill from ESPADA. We started to see them, like I said, on that CT side looking good. But eventually moving into a much stronger position towards the end of things. So might be able to continue that little bit of momentum that they picked up on Nuke. Might just give them the explosive start that they need coming into their CT side of Mirage as we get into the pistol. We'll see what the deal is. And of course, would not be the start of the map without our betting partner LootBet there giving us the odds, which pretty heavily, you have to say, not ridiculously, but pretty heavily in favor of ESPADA.
Yeah, I cannot blame that for being that way. APEKS really have to show up here and come out swinging to catch ESPADA flat-footed on Mirage. It's a bit of a B stack, a retake with Finnegan. Kit's on Sophic on towards B, so Finnegan's just going to play the spot game and live. He'll see the smokes, the flashes will be coming in, and his teammates are on the way. Finnegan's just going to fall back. He'll live. Dima, don't see a world in which he'll try to push this smoke, but maybe look for a kill on top of it, and successful in doing so. Gross even comes back to try to fight. They're swinging CT alone. That's an error right there. Scriv, Dennis should have called for teammates. Maybe he thought he had more. At least they get the bomb planted. They'll scramble through this smoke. And this is where things can maybe get interesting.
Ooh. He says, and then that happens. Dexter with a clean one onto Marcelius, who I think was going to be the difference maker. Akez caught off as well. Yeah, he needed to fight his way out there, and it just doesn't happen for him. Sophic was already on the bomb. Okay. Got off the bomb. I think that was... Wait, Dexter wants MVP? I'm confused. He wants the money for the AWP, maybe? You get that $300 if I'm not mistaken. Oh, what? I just kind of made that up. Why? All right, I'm confused. I don't know why he defused. So I know you get the extra money for planting. I just kind of assumed and had never really noticed that, but I should have gone with my gut feeling, really. I don't know why Sotfit gets off the bomb and gives it to Dexter, but here we are.
Because he's a nice guy. It's the only thing I can think about. He's a nice guy. Bomb plant.
You definitely, you don't get a
AKs.
bonus. You definitely don't get a bonus for defusing the bomb. Yeah, okay.
No, I don't believe so, no. Okay, but Truth can find that through the smoke. Dexter deleted. And Apex are just going to group and look towards B now. ESPADA pinching on mid off of Catwalk. It's just Patsy to defend B alone, and they're going to quickly take the fight mid. Spot nothing, and then Patsy's slowly going to work his way back in. Marcelius just has to live for now. He gets his head clean taken off. But here comes Apex into the B site. These AKs can start to work some damage now. AK's going to have to find a pick in towards market, in my opinion. And this is where things get weird. AK's posted, needed that headshot. Dennis, no armor and AK. Able to find the first and a second from Dennis. Hold the line. Don't put Dennis on hold. He needs to talk, and he needs to talk now. Gruss gets one. Dennis, no armor. Aim punch an issue. Will a third be gathered? As he'll dance around the front of sight, playing this time, playing the long game, hoping to get the drop, and he will. Dennis have done it. He'll get 3 out of thin air, and Apex have stolen it.
This was massive as well. With no armor, how he gets away with that. The first one you can kind of see, but the second guy definitely panicking, right, and not able to drop him, which even with the clean repeat and everything like that, you feel if he lands just a single bullet, it throws the aim off so wildly. Really good stuff. Really good stuff from Dennis. Loves a bit of mirage. Gruss going to open up onto Dexter as well. Super clean stuff coming in from him. 5 on 4. Immediately off the bat, we of course see the return force buy from ESPADA, but so far, not very successful. Ooh, and just over the smoke, I think Sotfik has been spotted there, trying to make his way out, and he just about is able to survive. Gruss, the tip of the head spotted. Meanwhile, Patsy up on the site has to be the difference maker immediately. Chimes in. That second is ridiculous, though. It's all he's good for. And it looks like the rest of the team going to clean up house here. Finnegan caught off an awkward fight for Akez. He's left on 2 HP, but the round overall will end up going the way of Apex. It's just a question of how many of them actually survive. And a nice little angle from Akez to make sure that he stays alive, which honestly, I'm surprised by that fact. So Apex, not super pretty, but they are able to get themselves that second round. And the Bison is back.
What did I tell you? Best SMG in the game. Marcelius is wise. I'm also almost certain it's a little bit more expensive than Mac 10, but not by a lot.
I think it's like 1400.
1400. The Mac 10's what? 1350.
Nah, 1050 the Mac 10.
What's that?
1050 on the Mac 10.
1050. Right. See, so the Bison's just a little bit more expensive. 2 kills from Spada make things interesting, though, doesn't it? We see even what Dennis can do without armor. Marcelius going for 3 with the Bison. Hold mouse 1. Sprays them all down. I told you it's the best SMG in the game. He gets an AK out of it and a little bit of a knife for bonus. And Apex are up 3-1 over ESPADA right now, Scriv. Everyone's going to be able to get a gun here. This is going to be an action-packed rifle round. But if that Mac 10 spray down was a sign of what's to come, ESPADA could be in some trouble.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But ESPADA, like you say, very quickly going to have to answer back. Apex are in a great position. Marcelius, ooh, looking to maybe get aggressive here in the middle. No, not going to be the case. But the mid take pretty clean from Apex. They dropped a player down, I want to say, in the form of Sotfik. He went aggressive early on, not able to find anything, and therefore has to drop back. So they don't have any window pressure per se. Oh, and the smoke just about getting in. Dennis, I'm not sure if he spotted the head here. Meanwhile, boost up attempt is denied cleanly. Really do like this more passive setup from ESPADA. when it comes to the mid control. And Sotfik knows there's a man around somewhere, doesn't realize that he's quite inside the smoke, but as they start to fade, the CTs will push back. They've got their one-man advantage. They don't need to throw themselves to the mid control, but Gruss creeping in, perfect timing. Does get dropped, so still that man advantage for ESPADA, but all the same, APEKS are not done. They're still trying to find the frags. Truth will catch off Sotfik. Now we're in a 3-on-3, and with that kill being untraded, it becomes a bit more interesting. Finnegan in and around the smoke, also traded back. Dima has to be careful. Dima needs to stay alive at the very least, and the fact that he goes down without a frag is going to make all the difference. All on to Patsy to clutch things out. I don't think they're quite ready for him on high, but Marcellius has just spotted him, and Marcellius will just wait for his teammate to get in behind.
Yeah, just don't bother peeking him. APEKS actually gets checked by Patsy. That's what you call awareness through the roof. Grabs that M4, upgrades from the Galil. ESPADA with pistols. Dexter won't invest anything. He wants to make sure that op becomes a reality next round. And this is the build a bank round if you're APEKS, right? You can't lose 2-3 members like you have been. Has to be clean. I'd say I'm willing to give you 1 or 2 players dying, but that should be the limit. And a good timeout from APEKS. I'm assuming they're just discussing what they want to do against this eco, then moving into the rifle. Because last time an eco round like this was a bit rocky for them. Just wanted to avoid the same outcome, Scriv, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. And I think they are realizing very early on into Mirage, into their, the weakest map that they play. I think they're realizing, actually, we're in a pretty good spot. If we can nullify their CT side, keep them under the cosh, and make sure that they are in this pattern of buy, half buy, half buy, that can be so harsh for CT sides. If they can remain in that pattern, then things are looking pretty damn good. Finnegan, though, goes unchecked. That's maybe a bit of a blunder. He gets the smoke down and buying time. I think with it being a pistol round, they'll look to rotate just super quick and not really care about the facts, not really care about the logic. Finnegan does get traded back in. Marcellius will take down Dima, and now the AKs are coming into play as they look to close the gap and use the automatic weaponry to their advantage. Gruss with a nice little highlight play at the end there with the 2K, but ultimately, no real contest. Not getting overwhelmed, playing it pretty smart, actually, slowing things down after they've lost the first man because Finnegan gets overlooked. I really do like that, rather than all jumping in, trying to pick up the pieces, you know, and be the hero to find the trade or whatever. They just kind of slow it down and go, okay, hold on. He's used his one smoke. Let's molly him out. Let's regain control. They're probably going to rotate super fast, so let's just wait for that to happen. Really smart stuff, I would say, from APEKS in that anti-eco. Although it's not a super hard round, it is the little things that sometimes, you know, make sure it doesn't come super close. Like you mentioned, the last time they had one of those, it was a little dangerous.
Well, the upper Dexter is poised. Grusby drives peeks this. Oh, takes a shot to the knee. Not an arrow, but he's able to walk it off at least. That's nice. Sotfik will nade top mid, Molly underpass, and just kind of reset. Let Dexter just worry about top mid. He'll avoid the flashes. Here comes the out peek. What a flick up from Dexter. Find the head of Marcellius. Overkill indeed, but it gets the job done. And here comes Gruss and Dennis. The first is weak, but Gruss will beat Sotfik. Can't believe that fight is won by Gruss. Now Dexter backed up from Demo, at least get it back. And the Hall's push will not work out for Truth. So ESPADA starting to win these fights now. And the way this game started, it didn't look like they'd be able to, but they have turned it on in this round.
Absolutely machines, to be fair. Oh, Dennis caught off. All onto a Kez, and he's got 3 men coming towards him. The spray on the first takes a bit too long. Good to do damage at the end, but ultimately ESPADA back in with the second. Probably need to keep this going for quite a while. I think APEKS, the likelihood of them getting up to 6 or 7 is quite high, but if they can keep them away from that for as long as possible, then maybe they can be happy with the comeback. Something else to be happy with, though, of course, the Hellcase codes that we've got for you, our primary case partners, the boys, Malta V, Malta V15 for a bit of extra cash, and that Malta V15 gives you 15% refill bonus. So do be sure to use it. Banner down below and everything will take you to their website. They've got a lot going on, esports modes, hundreds of cases, and of course, bit of extra money for you guys, you know? What's not to love? What is not to love? Finnegan pushing in. Could actually catch them off guard here, Keith, if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, he's just so patient right now. No reason for him to move. He understands this. His hand is only on the trigger right now, not wanting to move that crosshair. This is going to be a bit of a front from APEKS. And if Finnegan gets good timing, he'll be able to figure this out. He'll be doing the mollies, he'll be doing the flashes. Finnegan's going to go. He's heard them drop. Can he catch the first? He can. It's pulled a player off, but that's it. That's all. It's all in this B hit. Softfix off angle one. Can he claim another? Yes, sir. And the third. That's a B anchor play through and through. What a hold from Softfix. The fake doesn't work because the B anchor hangs on.
Yeah, they've found that energy. They have found that missing mojo in these past couple of rounds for sure. And no bomb plants coming in. APEKS have to stomach an eco of their own. We do see a deagle coming into play. Actually, a couple of deagles and some armor for truth. So certainly watch out for that. Dexter, though, gets aggressive up middle. Finds the opener and does just about escape, but he doesn't quite realize it. Okay, what's happened here? The gap has closed massively. Dima comes in with a double and a huge double at that. Truth had also found a kill over on B. So, yeah, this could have been a messy one. This could have been a messy one. Actually, no, I think it's deeper into the site, excuse me. But all the same, 2v3 looks a lot better than what could have been a 3v3 or even a 4v3 if Dima doesn't find that double. And looking for a few more in connector here. Left on 2 HP, will be traded back. It's all on to Truth to pull off something a little amazing. Missing by millimeters. As things slow way down. He does have the bomb. He needs to find 2 more, and I think they're ready for him this time around. Yeah, clean stuff from Patsy. Tip of the head.
Yep.
Spotted out through that scope. As ESPADA move up to 4.
Yeah, they're climbing, building that money while they're doing so. That last round was a little expensive, probably more so than they were expecting or really wanting. But they get the round victory nonetheless. APEKS. Buy up full AKs. No op for Marcelius. Gruss leading the charge at 9. Tied in the top ranks in the server alongside Dima. And APEKS. They do strike me as more of a CT-sided team, APEKS. So if they get 6-7 rounds, Scriv, that's pretty good, all things considered. For it being Mirage. Gruss standing in that molly a bit longer than I bet he wanted. As Truth's going to be allowed to work this A-ramp pick. Softfix spray. Damage will be dealt, but not enough really to write home about. And it seems like APEKS have just bullied ESPADA off of mid for now. That molly will chase the underpass player back. But kind of just like one of these awkward little stalemates at the time being. The flash for Demon to fight, and that is gorgeous. Flash doesn't even hit, but the smoke and the angle catch Gruss off guard. That is how ESPADA work on this CT side.
Yeah, really solid stuff in these past few rounds. It feels like very quickly we've gone from 5-1 to 5-4 and possibly 5-5. Oh, gap in the smoke as well will come into fruition in just a second here. Dexter gonna move away. That's unfortunate. Could have been a chance for him to find a cheeky one. However, Marcelius is sat inside the smoke. Flash comes in. It's not good enough for Dexter's angle. Sotfik as well, able to deal. Dexter looking solid at the back end of triple. Truth does take down Finnegan, but to no avail, really. 1v4 needs to go nuclear. I think the odds of that with no bomb, his position being known, 56, now 0 HP. Very, very slim. ESPADA will be in with the 5th and another clean round from them.
Five. We're rocking and a rolling. As Elvis would say, I think, if he was still around. Hey, Scriv. Whatever he said, that was more like That was like butchered Elvis, but same idea.
Yeah, I don't know. That was. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'll work on it. All right.
That was definitely an impression of someone, but
Fat
not
Albert,
Elvis.
I think. Yeah.
Yes.
I mixed up Fat Albert and Elvis.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's ever been
it's-
done before, but here we are. It is just what it is, you know. You just gotta roll with it. One for the money, two for the show. Execute's coming in, and is Dima ready? The first, missing the spray transfer, but he'll reposition. These pistols are trying to close the gap. Truth's the only one to get one. Dima actually gets run over. Truth's getting two, but that is all he'll be allowed.
I know it's kind of funny there. That's the best that they've done in a while in terms of the damage, and it's with the half buys. So hopefully we see moving into this rifle round. Maybe that's a little bit harsh, then, but hopefully we see moving into this rifle round something a bit more powerful from Apex, if I'm being honest, to look for the correct descriptor. They just need to bring back some of that firepower that we saw from them earlier on in the half, where they were looking really good. They were looking really solid. But since ESPADA have got a foot in the door, it's just not being the case. Dexter, watch out. Maybe getting caught off on short if he doesn't... Oh, look out properly. They walk straight into Sophic. He finds two. Gruss does get one on the front end. Finnegan going to fall in on the site. Dexter also dropping, so certainly not cut and dry. 3-on-3 coming in. Truth going to find Patsy as he just creeps out onto the balcony. That's some really solid stuff. Meanwhile, same kind of thing happens in the middle, but this time it goes the way of Sophic. Truth, though, is pushed all the way in. They don't respect how deep into the site he could have been. 2-on-1 for Dima. And guess what? The bomb's going B, and he has no idea. This is a really solid chance, a really good chance for Apex. They're playing it so safe as well. Dennis taking his time, just making sure that, you know, either he creeps in and he's sure he's cleared everything, or his teammate spots the opponent out on A. He also does a great deal of damage. Dima going to be left on 14 HP. And there is no way he gets out of this alive, I don't think. Truth with a beautiful peek will take him down. Apex, there you go. As soon as, the classic, as soon as they lose their lead, they will be able to fight back to bring it back under contention.
Whew. There you are. Marcelius right back in with the Bison. When your Opera can't afford an AK, he'll go for the Bison. Respect. Round 13, Apex have hit 6. That's probably the minimum they wanted. They can walk away content. Missed shot from Dexter. Sophic will throw the bomb connector smoke, but it's a little late, and Dennis will best him. Gruss has to be careful jumping in, but the timing is just so damn perfect. He'll catch that player with a nade in his hand, and Apex with a double entry, make it a triple, add a fourth on top of it, and there's the sugar. All 5 stay alive. Apex pick up the pace, and they just run over ESPADA out of nowhere.
Very quickly, it has turned back around in favor of Apex. They have discovered their mojo again, the magic that they had to begin with. And look, man, I think coming into this, we had written them off, and maybe ESPADA had written them off as well. This is something that I mentioned in the pregame, that they do bring Mirage close from time to time. Obviously, sometimes they win it, although not that often. But I think ESPADA may well be falling into that trap that a lot of teams do against Apex, where it's like, okay, their stats kind of terrible on this map, so it should be okay. We can take it to the third. We brought it close on Nuke, Darrow, map pick. I'm fairly confident in us, guys. But we'll see. We'll see. At the moment, it's looking good for Apex, and they should be set to get another one, unless these pistols, which are indeed proving to be a bit of a problem, don't get shut down quick enough. Have Finnegan on an AK. I'm not sure whether he wants to go for this or whether he just wants to save what he has. I think particularly with losing Dexter so early on into the retake. Even, of course, now Patsy's gone down. There's not a chance for him.
Eight for the Apex boys, Griff. They're feeling pretty good. On not a map they're comfortable on. They're making it work. Finnegan has to save here. He can drop over a teammate, Dextering at the op. So we're going to have that fiery final round buy that we always love and enjoy. But Apex, these last few rounds, Script, out of nowhere, have just turned it back on up. Big kills from APEKS, securing the round essentially. And if they can end with 9-6 on the T side, honestly, again, I feel like APEKS on most maps are just a CT-sided team. I think it fits their mental game a ton more than the T-side script. And we have a Halls pop incoming.
Okay, they're going in with the speed once again, looking good. APEKS and Dennis is going to open up 5-on-3 just like that. What is going on over here? Both of them miss the shots. The pistol comes out. Artelius will take him down, but my goodness, that is messy. What is happening?
What is that round, dude?
Oh my god. Marcelius is just a ninja, man. What the hell?
That is just... That's just absurd. We'll take it though, won't we? That'll work out. And now, how are we going to be looking for this next half? I want to see the updated live odds because from our partners at LootBet, I'm interested to see if they've shifted at all, Scriv. Has the needle moved? Yes, sir. Again, APEKS, better CT-sided team. ESPADA, T-side suits their playstyle a bit more. But if this pistol goes APEKS's way, the first rifle, and this could get really weird.
Could get a little strange. They're moving in pretty quick. I think it's fairly telegraphed. Are they going to keep up with this? No, they'll move back towards the A-bomb site, trying to catch APEKS in rotation, trying to catch them off guard. APEKS still here as they weren't fully sold on B. T-pistol just going to move to play for a retake by the looks of things. First frag does come through though. Pretty solid stuff from Dexter, dropping Dennis. That player on the rotation will give them just enough doubt in the minds of the CT side. I think they might be able to catch him off guard here. Gruss looking for a flank, and it is pretty solid so far. Any more for any more, he says, and unfortunately not looking good. Sotfik on that Glock is pretty damn solid. Truth able to find a couple. Any more than that, I think going to be hard here, though. Moving in towards these Glocks, it's kind of hard to predict. There is, of course, the kit available, but they're not able to get it done. ESPADA just shutting them down.
Wow. And now, it doesn't look like APEKS is going to force buy. I really like this decision. A lot of teams would just force up, right? Try to win this round, but on a map that you're not comfortable on, to me, it makes sense to just take a little bit of a gamble stack with some USPs, try to play unpredictable, get a kill or two, which is doable. There you go. They hit the 2-kill mark. A third's not going to happen, but they get 2 kills with just USPs, put some money in their pockets, and now they can get a full buy. Marcelius could have glass cannoned. Instead, it will just be M4s across the board. But again, for a map you're not comfortable with, it's just the choice to just go ahead and take an E. Smart from APEKS. And now they get a fight in round 18 here, Scriv. Jeez, not 10, 18. Couple opening picks for APEKS. Dennis able to find Finnegan out of thin air, it seems. Just a one-man advantage for APEKS, and they're going to continue to fight back and forth from CT to Firebox. This is getting a little hot as Demo will take a flash peek. The bomb has to get planted. Patsy's only choice is triple. Without catwalk control, this is where things can get weird. 3 players from APEKS and CT here, Script. And they line up for Patsy, and Dima gets the last. They all peek together, which is the right move. They just cannot find Dima.
Seems both these teams, man, have some very explosive, some very strong T sides from the get-go. Apex, again, really early on to start to fight back here, and I'm not sure like how well they can keep this up, to be honest with you. It's starting to just very quickly spiral out of control. Of course, there's no money coming into this one, so hold off for as they can, really. The pistols might be able to get something done, but ultimately not expecting too much to come through.
Well, these Deagles, no luck so far. Dima's hitting those headshots like he normally does. And as previously mentioned, ESPADA and T-sides go hand in hand. As they're going to try to walk up connector, no one open A site. None of these Deagles can really do much. Truth. The one, the two, almost the third. How does he do this? Patsy will just fall. He leaves himself a little exposed. Bomb will go down towards default. Didn't spot the toe with sockbit sticking out. He was showing some heal. And it's a 2v2. No armor for this AK, so a headshot needed. Not going to pull the trigger. We'll tag up the player on default, but Sockbit has it on lock. ESPADA will continue their climb into double digits. But here's the op for Marcelius and a full buy for his teammates.
Yeah, this is kind of it, to be honest. Ooh. Double up setup as well. I'm loving the look of this. I am loving the look of this from Apex. No time taken, no time wasted, really. No punches being pulled. The phrase I'm looking for there. And Apex certainly looking to do their best. Meanwhile, on the side of ESPADA, I mean, like you say, the double digits hit real quick here in this second half. Great little individual moment from Sotfik to expect of the Russian side. And although their CT side is a little lackluster, their T side is just unstoppable right now. Even with the boost up and everything, nothing coming at all for the CTs. 5-on-2. Pretty much immediately into the round. What, maybe 35 seconds gone? And it's over. It is over. The best they can hope for now is to save on this Apex side. And even that looks to be tough.
Wow. Can you even save? At least AKES finds a couple for the road, but back to Deagles. Apex falling short on the CT side. ESPADA running amok. They're owning mid. They're finding those opening picks that they require, and they don't seem too bothered. Let's be honest, Scriv. They are cleaning things up and keeping the shop clean. Looking like they're going to be able to jump up to 12. Right when we thought 9-6 was going to favor Apex, ESPADA are on a 5-round heater. I'm not sure if that's going to change anytime soon, unless you're feeling differently, Scriv. It seems like the ESPADA show.
Yeah, I think so, to be honest. And it's not just the fact that they've been winning the rounds. It is indeed the fashion that they've been doing it in. So we do see Dexter eat a lot of bullets to begin with. It does need to be a little careful, but you would expect from ESPADA that things continue going the way that they have been, at least in this round. Maybe in the next, Apex can pull things back. I'd like to see a pause coming in from the CTs, actually, to really just work things out and talk things over. But for the time being, just a slow start from ESPADA, hoping to catch some aggression. Doesn't really come their way. Now they have to make a move. Up short they will go. And they move into 4 players with that slow rotation coming in from Marcelius. There is a lot to deal with here. Truth opening up proceedings. Still got these low HP players in play as well as they keep on getting lower. Trade does come back in. Suddenly the T side opting to move away, but Akez in behind could do some damage if he can land the shots. Oh, Akez surely should be finding those. Marcellius good for one, but traded back. Dennis is here on the Deagle. And now the remaining two players of this T side are so low, both one-shottable. And that looks to be the case. All going to be on to Finnegan. He does manage to find the first, but Dennis surely flattens him here. Needs to find it, but can't. Finnegan actually survives, clutches it out. And ESPADA pick up the 12th. Oh, APEKS, although it's not around, you expect them to win initially. They will be kicking themselves. They're not able to convert that.
That one stings. Right when you thought they had it around. Wow. Well, Marcellius has the op. They're getting aggressive towards mid once again. And Truth, full blind as he pushes behind these top mid boxes. Sofik, not necessarily ready for it, but his control and flick over will claim it. ESPADA realized mid control should mean the B site's free. And honestly, if you're APEKS, you need rounds, but at the same time, this might just be an instant save call. I'm not completely sold on this Scriv.
Yeah, I agree, to be honest with you. I think maybe just move away here, unless something presents itself, but it just isn't really. Slow creep from Dexter. And not giving them enough to work with, so APEKS will indeed look to save. ESPADA once again brute forcing their way in, looking really, really scary. Really, really strong. And it's weird how the shoe is now on the other foot. That's exactly what went down on Nuke, to be honest, is an unstoppable T-side from APEKS. We now have one from ESPADA on their map pick. But I did have high hopes for APEKS coming into the second half. I thought at the very least they'd be able to keep it competitive, but so far, although 4 rounds down and whatnot, not impossible, not too far of a lead, you have to look back towards the fact that they're yet to pick up a round. So it is worrisome. It is very worrisome for APEKS. They need to be winning this one. Otherwise, I think we'll be moving to overpass once again, somewhat prematurely.
Ouch. APEKS next up to bat. They were ready and they were waiting. No free real estate here against ESPADA. Sofik, if he can just cut one of these rotators, just keep these two players busy. I mean, this is 14, isn't it? Yeah, he'll die. Unless Dennis and Gross have a stroke of genius. We might just need to wrap this one up. Dennis wants to go through vent, realize it's not broken. Connector, he goes. And he's smoked. And he's mollied. And he's hoping a spray will connect. And with no avail, I imagine it's a save. Looking like 14 for ESPADA Scriv. They've been flawless.
Yeah, I mean, a tough start. Certainly a tough start. APEKS giving them a real good run for their money when it came to the T side, but I suppose we're seeing both these teams have a lot of prevalence on their T sides. So, yeah, even on Nuke, I remember ESPADA picking up 8 rounds, I believe, to begin with on the T side. So, like, yeah, it seems that both these teams really lackluster on their CT end of things, but it is kind of crazy to see. 8 in a row. Will it continue? APEKS couldn't do it. They did obviously win the map, but they couldn't have that flawless second half. See whether ESPADA can one-up them, so to speak, and be the ones with that massive amount of confidence moving into overpass. Would be real scary. Another opportunity, of course. The auto sniper coming out for Marcellius. Keep an eye on this, of course. Is very effective on this map, has been very effective in the past. Meanwhile, we've got ESPADA shaping up for a pop. Very basic, very simple. Really do like that, and Akez is caught completely off guard. As is Truth, into a 5-on-3, and probably another round that they need to look to save. But at this point in the game, go for it and hope that some kind of a miracle is pulled off. But I think, yeah, they're really not fancying it at all, which is the logical but the tougher decision for sure.
Dennis has never had an easier kill this series. The auto will not pay off, but I bet it was fun. APEKS, they can definitely win 6 in a row, Scriv, but it has to start at some point. Like, if you get swept and moving over past a map that you're famously also not good on, you're in some trouble. They have to win a few rounds on the CT side. That one hurts. But yeah, you have to win some rounds on the CT side just for confidence sake. Even though you might not even win the map, you need something going for you on the CT side. Because you moved overpass. Let's say you win knife round and you start CT side. Where's your confidence going to be? It's just going to be gone.
Oh. Ah, Marcelius, man. Could have stuck around. Might have had a few for him to play with there. Need to win this fight on ramp, and Truth will do so. Gruss and Marcelius, meanwhile, holding it out in middle. There it is, the auto sniper. Nasty and cheesy as it may be, it gives APEKS a chance, and a solid chance at their first round. Not dropping a single player. As you said, 6 in a row required. Now only 5. But all the same, at the very least, they can win CT rounds. They can do it, Keith.
Hey, I guess they can. Question is, can they string them together? It seems like they've gone a little off crazy, a little wild. They don't like what ESPADA are up to, so they're just gonna sit back and try to cut them down from afar. AKs will play under balcony. It hasn't been really the best position for him to play from, but it's just an execute. Gonna try to ice out, try to cut off all these angles for the ops. AKs back to the smokes, eyes up into Palace. As they'll fire underneath them. A jiggle from Patsy. The bullets will rain in. Dennis with the first. And AKs is going to be in some trouble. Caught reloading into the smoke. He can't escape. Marcelius gets caught with the auto. And it's Dennis on triple. Having it look like Chris J. And not going to be the case. The nade won't land. Truth has to lock things down with his AK. Successful. But can Gruss rotate in time, Scriv?
$1 million question. He kind of needs to. He's being watched as well, so game of chicken ultimately here at CT. Oh, he wants to, but against his better judgment, not going to move in. Sotfik as well, making noise. Gun barrel spotted. Nice trigger discipline from Gruss. And Truth will now start to move across. He has to be careful. Very low. Patsy also very low. Anybody's game right now, and I think the swing is going to come in from the healthier player. No, it's just Patsy holding things down as Truth is going to go to check it just as Patsy looks away. That is so lucky. Finnegan will indeed trade him back. Fakes it out. Gruss not biting. Nice nade over the top, and 5 HP left. So very close as Gruss surely now looks to close the gap. Trying to get on high, trying to take a bit of an off angle, and it works perfectly. Absolutely beautiful stuff. APEKS will get the 11th, and yes, Gruss very happy with that one, as he did indeed kind of outbrain his opponent in that one-on-one.
Well, the auto stays in play. That could make a difference moving down the stretch, couldn't it? Just the auto, no ops. And here we go into round 27. ESPADA still with the AKs. No ops. Gonna be another quick pace. They felt that AXQ was the move. They just lost the 1v1. So it wasn't the strat's fault. It was the outcome in the trades. So gonna run it back one more time. Smokes are tossed. AKs is in some trouble. He's stuck on default. In the smoke, can he isolate a fair fight? Getting tagged up, they know he's here. He should fall, and he will. A 1-for-1, but they are completely iced out through the sandwich. Dennis gets one before he goes down. Dennis is a wild, and as the smoke start to fade, ESPADA yet to plant.
Great little flash coming over the top. Marcelius has to move back. Oh, peeks up to find the triple, though. Marcelius is huge. Oh, my goodness. Keeping Apex alive for another round longer. I thought he was dead to rights after that flash, Keith, but not the case. The hero's stepping up massively in so many of these rounds.
Well, the auto continues to prevail. Lost bonus building for ESPADA slowly but surely. AKs aplenty once more. And they're right back to A. They're just going to keep doing this till it works. AKs, this time no kills. Brave from Truth gets a double. Right when his team needed a hero, he'll collect it. They have to go back and grab this bomb through the fire from Marcelius. He's going to quickly try to get into CT and deny any kind of plant. But he just can't get there in time. Patsy, the gumption of plant front default, as Patsy will stick around triple, cannot escape, cannot back up. No flash for him to peek. Soft Vicar moves cross. The auto from Marcelius doubles in. He's on pace for another triple back to back as Dexter on towards Tetris. Could be in some trouble. Peeking.
Oh no.
Found, and he gets caught by Marcelius. Apex are still in it.
I honestly thought it was a bit of a giddy move. Maybe they figured he was tagged already. That came a little too close for comfort on that one. I mean, a lot of these rounds kind of are. Apex keeping it close, keeping it competitive. Pause from ESPADA. They indeed need to work something out. It, again, similar to Nuke, mega explosive T-side coming in from them. Seemed said and done, unstoppable, on for the flawless half. And then Apex have pulled it back within 2. The overtime certainly now on the cards, and money's still available for ESPADA. Lost bonus stacking up, bomb plants consistent enough that they're able to buy. Still not going to be super comfortable coming into this one, I would have thought. I mean, it should be okay. Like, they'll be missing a little bit of utility. I feel Dexter is sat waiting. Yeah, does he go for an AWP or an AK? Don't know. Decides to move for the AWP. They need something to deal with this auto sniper, to be honest. It has been a nuisance, and that is putting it lightly over the past few rounds.
Oh. Wanting an opening pick, and Patsy will get it. Dennis has to deliver. No ifs, ands, or buts. He's getting flanked by Sotvic, and it's a 3-man retake on B. Make it 2. And you know what? Chop it up to 1. AKS alone. I smell overpass. And it doesn't smell like breakfast as much as I wish it did. And this should just be it.
Yeah, I mean, looks like it, to be honest. Smoke dissipates. Does find the head of the first. Credit to him. Nice and crispy in the end, but not to be overall. 16-13. ESPADA will take it over the line. Kind of how we expected it, but these maps definitely coming all the way down to the wire, and the victorious team, as it were, making it a little difficult for themselves. I think that is safe to say.
Yeah, seemingly both teams just having a rough go on CT side, which is fair for ESPADA, because to me, their playstyle really does just fit a T side a bit nicer, right? They seem more coordinated. Their skill really shines on those peaks, especially on Mirage. But Apex falling really flat on that CT side. The auto sniper had to come out to secure them a couple rounds. It's unable to win those mid fights. Not really prodding for information when they're a man down. I mean, in the end, it was ESPADA just execute. Like, we'll win eventually, right? Like, we're on 15. We have money. We're building lost bonus to just keep hitting A, because it's come down to 1v1s, come down to 2v1s. So it just kept pushing the envelope until finally they got across that line.
Yeah, pretty much, to be honest. Like, I feel it was kind of an inevitability, similar to the way that Nuke went down. Really, really good stuff. Strange to see Dexter maybe not performing, and with how close these maps have been coming, that is something to keep an eye on moving into Overpass. Although you could argue Overpass is an even better map for ESPADA. So, yeah, Apex, it goes from bad to worse in a sense. They're a little more prevalent. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. We'll see. The thing is, I think the stats have been with these previous two maps, a weak map for ESPADA, weak map for APEKS, yet they come so close. They have kind of been thrown out the window ever so slightly. So, yeah, I feel Overpass is really where this series comes to a head, and it's going to be interesting to watch and see whether, indeed, these individuals that are lagging behind ever so slightly for both these sides are going to end up costing them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, as Scriv mentioned, it's Overpass.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Woo, damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
And it's third map vibes between ESPADA and APEKS. My name's Keith Fortune. Continuing to join me is Scriv. Got the point right. Just gotta bring it. There we are. And it's Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, the home of gaming excellence. Scriv, map 3, Overpass. Seemingly a decent map for both teams. But after what we just saw Mirage, I mean, you got to be leaning ESPADA's way, right?
I mean, they come in with this super aggressive T side that we saw. Also from APEKS on Nuke, to be fair to them. And both teams not quite able to get that flawless end. But I think so. Just how dominant some of those rounds were, how quickly they were able to hit their 15 rounds just seemed crazy to me. Just seemed absolutely crazy. And again, you can argue that complacency. You can argue that getting a bit ahead of themselves, and APEKS also bringing out the auto sniper, something that you don't have to deal with very often on Mirage. It was really strong, actually, from Marcelius, but not enough in the end, really. Not enough. So, yeah, moving into Overpass here, as I said just before the break, arguably a stronger map for ESPADA. Meanwhile, APEKS do play it a bit more successfully than Mirage, but it's kind of the same in terms of the weighting, in terms of how much they win and how much they lose, right? So I feel ESPADA, again, coming in with the upper hand.
Yeah, I really do feel the same. I think this knife round's coming a lot. I think APEKS started to find a little bit of confidence on the tail end of that CT side. Hopefully a lot of it wasn't rooted in the auto sniper, right? And that's what they're kind of relying on. But I have a feeling ESPADA, if they get a CT side start, it's a fresh map. They seem resilient enough. And they should be able to just jump over and continue playing well. It is going to be APEKS to get a pick. Unless they're crazy, they're probably going to want to start on the CT side, Scriv. And I think that is going to be the case.
Yeah, it would make sense. Hearing all those ticks coming in is usually a good sign. And they will indeed stick to it moving into the pistol here. And the odds are up. And they, once again, are not in favor of APEKS. And I want to say a little more favored in ESPADA's way compared to the start of Mirage, actually. Which is kind of interesting. And maybe based off of the fact that APEKS do indeed bring Mirage real damn close. Even when they're losing it, they still manage to bring it pretty close. But all the same, ESPADA on the T side, it's a slight disadvantage for them in that sense. But saying that, across the course of this series, we've seen both teams be incredibly effective on their T sides, and it looks to continue as Finnegan will drop Marcelius pretty easily, pretty cleanly. A nice opener into the pistol for the T side.
Oh, Truth. Really wanted that second one. Very committed. Dennis, at one point in time, because they're the best pistol player in the world, he's still kicking. Looking to transition this round nicely. Sophic has to come back to grab the bomb, and he may just elect to come all the way back to Dima, who's creeping out on this B site. Can he find a favorable fight against Gruss? They're not expecting each other. Seems like Dima's going to be a bit more aware than Gruss, as Dima's just going to wait behind Pillar. Hedge out of Heaven Peak, just wait it out. Gruss will be creeping up himself. He'll spot Dima, but Dima bests him with the Glock. How does APEKS get back in this? No armor, kit in hand. Gonna need some assistance from Dennis here, Scriv.
Yeah, Dennis bouncing in and very quickly bouncing into his grave, it looks like. Kez, oh, that's a clean one onto the first. He needs a couple more just like that, though. With no armor, now being left on 38 HP. I was going to say it should be hard for him, but maybe not going to be the case. And the shots are missing from Dexter. Being brought close, he's moved on to the Glock, trying to find the triple. It does come in, the burst is successful, and the pistol will go the way of ESPADA. But goodness me, again, it comes so close between these two teams. Those shots on the USP were so crispy. That second one especially. But look, man, we've seen the devastation of this ESPADA T side. If it picks up where it left off on Mirage, could be very scary for APEKS. Particularly, again, being on the CT side. Money not great. You are... well, you're broke. Flat broke for quite a while. And I think they'll remain broke unless they can start picking up some rounds. So you never know. Maybe I'm writing them off a bit too quickly into this fourth spike key.
I don't think you're entirely wrong. It does make sense. Right now, though, it has kind of been all ESPADA, and that will continue. The scout of Dennis spotted in connector. He'll find the headshot, but I don't think he'll be allowed to escape. Maybe so when he actually gets out. And yeah, Dennis is just going to try to fake a runaway. He'd love to save Scriv, but I'm not sure what the odds are like on that. And not high, apparently. So, ESPADA 2-0. Force buy from APEKS will be tossed away. And they're going to have to take a save. So, it's looking like a 3-0 start from ESPADA. That's pretty decent on Overpass, all things considered on your T side. Keep in mind, this is their highest win rate map from ESPADA. So, definitely a place that they are not afraid to play.
Should be another surefire round coming in as well, like you say. Do have these HEs. Maybe watch out. Where do they want to go with them? Of course, Monster is kind of that classic choke point for them, but... Okay. Kill comes in. The nades? Not following up. I think they want to be more sold on the fact that it's a full-on rush rather than just some guy holding the angle. Oh. Here we go. Oh. Well, that was very anticlimactic. And now they'll just swing in, try and make the USPs work. Not going to happen. Dennis, the only one left. So, how very boring. I was hoping for a precision airstrike from ESPADA, but it just isn't the case.
Well, Marcellis goes for the regular op. No auto this time around. A kit bought up on APEKS. No one else having one, but they get the utility out. A little bit of a bonus round from ESPADA and Finnegan, Sophic, and Patsy, right? And if they can pick this up, it would set them so far ahead over APEKS. As they'll have Cash, Truth, easy one on Patsy. Full blind is Dennis. Where's the trade? There it is from Marcellius. That one will not escape them as Truth will continue to lock down connector as ESPADA are a man down and someone has to make a pick. And it seemed like it was going to be Dima for a moment there. But it looks like their quick transition to the B site won't be welcomed by APEKS. In fact, iced out with a couple smokes. But Dima's still going to go here, Script.
Dima gets clapped. Sophic able to pick a one through the smoke. Dexter going to drop and, well, Sophic is now left by himself. Essentially a 1v4 required from this man. And he is going to go for it. It's the cheeky bonus round, so they have plenty of cash and whatnot. He's just looking to do some more damage if he can. And so far, not so much. Tries to go for a different angle of approach. Truth will cut him off. And APEKS pick up the first rifle round. Like I said, though, could argue there's kind of ESPADA holding on to a lot of weaponry, hoping to gain themselves a bit of a cheeky advantage because of it. Doesn't happen, and now they come into, in their mind, I suppose, what is officially their first proper full-on buy that they're putting all their chips into. And this one does look scary. AWP out for Dexter pretty quickly. Are they going to go for the 4-man? Looks like they are. Oh.
Come on. Yep. Hey,
right,
little late.
We'll get them off spawn, boys.
Yeah. We'll catch the rotator. Oh, actually?
Actually?
Oh!
Yeah.
Nearly. Well, wasn't necessarily the idea, but they nearly caught that player coming back. APEKS is doing the typical beam angle where you climb your way up as high as you can and kind of counter hold your way up. ESPADA looking to just break across the map now. Seems like connector door is going to be blown open by Dennis here, and then the spray will commence some more. I like this from APEKS. Pretty safe, but also aggressive default. It's kind of what you want, especially early on.
Team are going to drop a Kez, though, pretty easily there. No real contest. That's maybe not what Apex were looking for. That's meant to be the spooky angle that catches people off guard, but he himself is caught off guard, so that's a little wild. 5-on-4, very quickly indeed here. Truth, oh, up on top of the smoke. Great stuff from him. Can he make it out? He does one better. He finds another frag. Meanwhile, over on B, Dima falls. Marcelius knows there's one around him. Maybe even two around him. This information being moved into the hands of his teammate, who will use it perfectly. Marcelius also taking down Dexter. So Apex, despite a poor start, I have to say, Keith, right, with Akez getting caught completely off guard, not able to find the trade, no real damage even being dealt. The A-hold actually stands perfectly strong. And working really well together. That's a fantastic hold from them. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, looking so good. ESPADA. He's taking their time this round. Softlick showing off his B-hop skills. Dima. He's going to waltz on in here. And if he can crack open this B site and get a plant for the team, that'll go a long way. He's creeping. Spotted. He sees Evan player, will need a flash for his troubles, but this should allow Softlick to get to the site and just plant with that site smoke. Dima can't win the fight, but the bomb goes down. That's pretty much the goal. As Patsy's long arms able to grab that AK, maybe he can make it sing while Akez is in the top site smoke. And Dennis will drop the AK once again. Akez goes up, and he'll just go ahead and peek with his teammate. Softlick actually gets a kill on Akez. That's unfortunate, but it will be 3-3.
And the difference here, Keith, is the fact that these T sides that we've come to know as being so scary and rolling each other over, and then it's a fight back against the T side. Not quite the case coming into this first half of Overpass. Apex are actually keeping things close and competitive and fighting back pretty readily. Sparta, meanwhile, quickly losing control. So I think this next rifle round needs to go their way. Even with the bomb plants, it might just be tough for them to put together a buy as strong as this one into the next. Even in this round, Sotvik is low on utility. I think he's used a bit of it, but still all the same. Not full trimmings, as the saying goes. Very slow start coming into this round. Short aggression, cheeky one way that they're playing off the angle. Well, not quite a one way, but you know, there's a little gap in it that Gruss knows about that he's trying to make use of. Meanwhile, Patsy, in perfect position. He just bounced out of there, and Akez is still around, but Patsy gets that opening frag untraded. That is massive for ESPADA.
Yeah, I thought that CT had great movement to get out of there, but it seemed like he just couldn't escape. Patsy's off angle bested by Truth. He's been so good. He's been Mr. Consistent for Apex. He can't escape Finnegan's loving arms as he comes around and is able to just catch him. Dennis knows Akez needs to make a play, and or vice versa. Looks for Akez get flashed into Monster and take a bit of a peek, or flashed into water, because they know they need to make some sort of play. Those flashes wasted, in my opinion, by Dennis, not taking any peeks off of it, not taking anything really truly from it. And he could be in some trouble. Good molly towards short, trying to find a fair fight. Akez's spray is wild, and it's all on Dennis, backed up by Marcelius. A 1v3, CZ in hand, and he is not long for this world. The spot to get to 4. They haven't broken Apex's money. There'll be another full buyback, but they're on the right path to do so. And Hellcase, Malta V for extra money. Malta V 15 15% refill bonus. They are the boys. Cases aplenty for you to open. Tournament modes and giveaways galore. Check them out. They're an awesome partner that have allowed us to have all these tournaments week in and week out.
Yeah, dude. Few more to go. Excited to see how the final few weeks will go down. Of course, this is the end of the 8th week coming up. First semi-final of the day. You have that second and the grand finals to follow. Not casted by you or I, but all the same. Stick around, you know. It's going to be pretty exciting. I mean, this is the first semi-final, and it's already shaping up to be another back and forth affair. Marcelius is straight onto his auto sniper. Of course, Patsy falls there. Relatively easy stuff from Truth. And again, getting away untraded. ESPADA making a bit of a bad habit of maybe sending troops in alone. And they're not really in a position in terms of fragging power, in terms of confidence or whatever, to be finding openers by themselves. I think they need to move in more as a squad. Meanwhile, the creep coming in. Cares, he looks the wrong way at the wrong time. He does look back, and he does deal a fair amount of damage onto Dima. The nade almost finishing him off. All the same, it's a 4-on-4. Certainly looking a lot more doable for ESPADA here. The utility and the Dennis ready and waiting to drop a couple more players. He does miss the shot. Truth gonna fall. Dennis still around here. Needs to find something before that bomb goes down. The flash comes in, but there's no one pushing into him. What is going on? This is so crazy. He's got so much information for Grus to work with. Grus does go down, but Dennis is still here. I think they are kind of sold on this fact, but still, he stays alive for a bit too long. Marcelius almost finding that frag, but not able to do so. And APEKS come really close, but just not able to take it over the line.
Oh, ESPADA will keep it going. APEKS gonna take a save. Looks like 6 for ESPADA on this T side. That's their goal number. That's their dream number. 5 is workable. 6 is golden. Anything past that, and you're laughing to the bank. As APEKS get a little aggressive in towards connector. 3 players there. Only 1 player. Actually, no players on B. I stand corrected. Surprising, considering this has been ESPADA's bread and butter. Pickles. It's been the site they go to. And by the way, bread and butter pickles are the bomb. Don't you try to argue with me.
I have never had one. I don't think we have them.
Just a fancy word for pickles and garlic and dill and... nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you get them at like restaurants. Sounds like a starter or something you could have at a restaurant. But I personally have never. And big fan of pickles, dude. And we call them pickles. You know, I've told you, maybe people don't know, but my mum's Canadian, so we call them pickles. Whereas like in the UK, normally people call them gherkins, which I think is like the
gherkins. That's like a brand over here of pickles.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Gherkins pickles is a brand. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure how it works. I feel like, because what, they're like mini cucumbers essentially?
Yeah, cucumbers just pickled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe as gherkin, it sounds like it might be unless it is one of those things, you know, like a Kleenex is obviously a brand thing. Counter-Strike. Pretty good so far for ESPADA. Meanwhile, APEKS taking one on the chin, buying up. Molly's not that great. Finnegan's like, yo, cool, I can just run through this, I guess. Does take a bit of nade damage, but it's a good job they weren't playing aggressive, because I don't think they would have expected him to be there that fast. Beyond that, though, APEKS playing very defensively. Early Molotov, early nade, but then they've dropped back. They're also playing 3 on B in a triangle formation, which is always interesting to me. I think that third player in the form of Dennis is floating next to the monster entrance. So they're really hoping for a B hit here on the CT end.
Ooh, flash into the bathrooms, however, Scriv. Allow them to move up a wee bit. It seems like ESPADA are slowly taking control. I like this monster setup. Will it come into effect? I'm very uncertain, but Finnegan's going to make noise. This is going to be... If both these players walk out A with 20 seconds, they have to commit B script into a 4-man stack. What is going on?
This seems a little crazy, doesn't it? It's kind of all over the place. 10 seconds left. They don't have time to rotate the bomb back across. They're going to try and go for the short play. Monster has been nullified. Bomb's been dropped. That is the round. All they have to do now is survive. There's not enough time to get the bomb plant in. Dennis knows it, playing it nice and safe. And they will get the plant. Oh, losing another player, though, and I believe that is after time. So that's going to do some damage to the econ, but yeah, ESPADA... really indecisive. And as always, the indecisiveness is their downfall.
Yeah, at times they're very undecided. APEKS sees this getting smoked off. He'll spray in, able to find 2 to the AK. Finnegan's last bullet, funny enough, will be able to find APEKS. But ESPADA trying to pick up the pace. They did this on Mirage, right? When they're running out of ideas, when the default's not working picks anymore, they'll explode. They'll pick a site, and they'll just do a simple execute, a simple pop. And this time they only get 1 for their 2 players, Scriv. So ESPADA have at least baited out a lot of utility from APEKS. Only 1 smoke remaining. Hey, if there's a will and there's a way, ESPADA should be able to find it.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't put it past these players right now. Finnegan especially has been having pretty good series, I feel. Boost not going to be able to find anything. I suppose at the very least it clears certain angles. Dexter meanwhile, oh wow, creeping in, but Gruss is not missing. You better inspect that AK, my guy. It's got some kind of a magic property to it. Meanwhile, Dennis holding that angle cleanly enough will drop Finnegan. Oh my goodness, Gruss, that was so clean from in and around the pillar. ESPADA, now their lead going to be under threat. They don't get a bomb plant in. They don't quite have the loss bonus or the money available. But yeah, the initial rush just not working out, and I think that makes the difference. They just can't recover it back because APEKS not giving them any room to play with at all, right? Okay. I guess they had enough money to pull out the 1 AWP for Dexter. They're going to try and go for the 4-man again.
Hell
Here we
yeah.
go. Clean. But no one coming via heaven.
Yeah, no rotator either. He's hoping someone jump spots. Oh, he's not going to go again. Nah, there's no way Dennis does it again. Dexter's going to wait. But he can't wait much longer. Yeah, they're going to have to give it up because they need some map control with these pistols. I'm all for a hero op. They'll have enough to buy in the next script. No worries, no problems. But APEKS, their goal here is to take no damage. And the way the ecos and force buys have been going for ESPADA, taking no damage if you're the APEKS side is kind of going to be hard to do.
Arcelius, under threat, does manage to get 1, but traded back. They can be happy with this on the T side of things. Another AWP to retrieve now, which is pretty nice result, right? In a round like this, where you have little armor, little utility, you're happy to take those fights with AWPs. However, lost another man, 4-on-3. Cross back to site comes in. There is also a rotation on the way to help hold down the A-bomb site. And Dennis may well be all they need. Double from long. Oops, eliminated. Dima caught in no man's land. So APEKS up to 6 real quick here, Keith.
They've made the jump. They're up there. The op is still in play for Marcelius. Fullest of full buys back and forth. And look at the utility for ESPADA here, Scriv. I mean, if this doesn't scream Dexter work a pick, or we're just going to quickly explode into something, I don't know what else does. They've been favoring this B side quite a bit, which has put not a lot of pressure on these A side players for APEKS. So I would like to see them get tested at some point.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. They maybe need to change things up a little bit here on the ESPADA side of things. And from what we've seen, in the past, it's the T sides that have looked formidable, as we said throughout Mirage, most of Nuke, and moving into this map, it's what we expected. Patsy will drop Truth though, so maybe the strength of the T side is to return. Time will tell. Gruss in very aggressive position. I'm not sure they'll be expecting this so much. Oh, the shadow spotted, but Dexter, the right eye peek, beautifully works for him. Meanwhile, moving out on towards the B-bomb site now with a 2-man advantage. They can either go for this, or as they are, looking to fake it out, hoping to bait some peeks out. Shot is missed by Dexter, but at the very least, they have achieved their goal of baiting in the CT side. Dennis does start to move back towards A, but he's going to be the only one there right now. He does have a little bit of support from underneath. Molly and Flash to keep them at bay. As less noise is made on the B-bomb site, they will now start to dedicate men towards A. The bomb dropped in connector with only 25 seconds left. It's not like there's a major amount of time. They need about 10 to 15 seconds to recover that bomb, then to get it into a bomb site. Meanwhile, Dennis pushing in to drop Finnegan. This is really well done in the chaos. However, everybody is left so very low. Marcelius to help hold down, and he will. 2 kills coming in for him. Dexter has no option but to dedicate to the plant. Going to go for the fake, though. And with hardly any time, it doesn't really matter. That wallbang is so close. But APEKS will take it over the line from a 5-on-3. I guess you're damned if you do, damned if you don't in a situation like that. If he goes for the hold, Dennis probably either drops him while he's planting or after he's planting. Meanwhile, if he doesn't, Marcelius can just play it safe, and that's what ends up happening. Four on 4 out of the gate here. Spada once again a little angry, looking to pick up the pace. Oh, Dexter to find another, as APEKS are making life difficult for themselves. I mean, that is for sure. And with that, an advantage for Espada, but we just saw in the previous round they had a pretty hefty advantage and they couldn't take it over the line. So we'll see if APEKS can pull off the impossible again.
Molly gets Dennis out of position. That Molly was just to bait out the rest of the utility from APEKS. And it worked wonders. Smoke short, Molly towards Monster. And a spotter's going to set up for another XQ. They'll re-Molly barrels, perhaps. They'll have a Smite smoke. Maybe even a Heaven, I believe, being tossed by Sotvik. There it is. He'll have a flash to boot. Dennis could be in some trouble. Going to position himself around the Molly. There's the flash. Full blind is Dennis. And Espada giving a lot up. APEKS know this is coming. Dennis is going to try to make a play. Cannot find the planner. Gets pushed, but best Patsy. Up goes Finnegan, jumping up and down. Dennis is still alive, but not for long. Truth in a 1v3. Can't deny the plant. Coming in from short. And he's about to be posted on by Dexter. Someone's going to come back and face this. And there it is. Sotvik holds. Finds the kills. 7-7 Scrib. Espada Doof. Get another T round on this board. And as we said, anything past 6 is just money.
Absolutely. And not allowing APEKS to get a solid lead, a solid foot in the door. Although, to be honest, same to be said to Espada. And with the strength of this map, from those raw statistics for Espada, the fact that it is being kept so close by APEKS is commendable. Just a question of whether it continues into the second half. And your T-sides can be a little harder, I think, particularly on a map like Overpass, where the mid-rounding's so important, and having just a nice, comfortable way of moving around the map can be really hard to achieve if you're not prepared for it. Meanwhile, while I was chatting, of course, Truth pushes forward, gets really aggressive, able to find the first, and gets away with an AK. So, APEKS, in this weird buy that they have with, you know, Marcelius on the AWP and everybody else on pistols, will find themselves an advantage and a stronger weapon recovered for Truth as well. And because he's so far pushed up, or at the very least Dennis has been left so far pushed up into playground, they will actually look to stack the B bomb site. Dexter catches Gruss. Will they move on? That is the real question.
Ooh. Marcellus with his op. Working around the pillar, missed shot. He should be posted on, and he will be. Dexter will not miss that. Truth has to double in. Only the one. APEKS here. MP9 in hand as Dexter looks to take the fight. APEKS is in trouble, but he actually gets a kill before the nade touches down. I don't know if... I think this is the last thing Sophic will expect is Dennis on flank. MP9, dink, and headshot. That is huge from Dennis to get the 8-7 confirmed. APEKS walk it off with a round advantage on the CT side. Giving up a bit too many, perhaps some could say. But you walk away with a lead. You start to control the pace on T side. You never know where this is going to go, but a lot closer than the other maps, no doubt.
That's what we were after, my guy. Really exciting stuff between the two of them, and you know, a worthy finalist is going to be decided. And I feel, just looking at this, right, you have APEKS, this team that we've talked about an awful lot, and I caught them in the group stages and everything last week. They're mad inconsistent, but recently, some of that inconsistency seems to be leaving them. A team like ESPADA, who are just on the verge of breaking into the top 30, I feel it should be a bit of an easier time for them. So APEKS certainly putting the work in, I think, just as a core, just as a team, and they realize kind of the power that they have. Interesting to see as well, we have a bit of a shift here. Dennis, I feel, for this team has been kind of Mr. Consistent. Never's a harsh word, but very rarely super flashy and massive frags and all that kind of stuff, but he tends to hit a pretty nice and comfortable 16 to 20 frags a game. And then in this case we have Truth playing really, really well, where normally it would be Marcellus up there with Dennis. So interested to see, moving on to the T side of things, whether or not Marcellus can bounce back. I think there's a little more freedom for the AWP on the T side of this map than there is on Mirage. We saw him on Nuke making a massive difference when he had the AWP on that T side, so I feel like we might see it a bit more from him. The odds, though, still in favor of ESPADA. Less so, but still feeling pretty comfortable.
Well, pistols seemingly have been ESPADA's thing throughout this series. And they're going to get chased all the way down long. Oh, Patsy could be in some trouble. Gonna back up to APC and jump up. Sophic's gonna take a peek, trying to bait for Patsy a wee bit. Patsy's gotta hit a shot. In fact, it's Sophic to hit the first. There you go. Patsy will get involved. There's no way this can start to fall apart. The Glock's at range, getting cut down. It's Marcellus in Truth. And look how low Marcellus is. He just wants to get this bomb to the site. Yeah, okay. I see you. Truth will get cut down, however, and ESPADA will win another pistol. And maybe someone in chat could tell me the stat, but I feel like they've won. There's 6 in a best of 3, right? 2, 4, 6. I feel like they've won at least 5. And that's, I think, maybe one too many, but they've won a lot. They've won a lot of pistols.
Straight through the fire goes Marcellus, as they're in with a half buy. Dexter with the nade to finish off Marcellus. But yeah, this is something that APEKS actually not talked about as much, because I don't think it's quite happened to them as often as I guess in the past. But they're this team with this philosophy where they love to get the rifles out as soon as they possibly can, particularly on the T side of things. So where a lot of teams these days force in this second round after losing the pistol, they don't. And it is kind of interesting to see. So, as we always say, any damage is good damage. They find the 1 kill. Truth may be on the cards for a second. Yeah, okay. I mean, they can be happy with that, right? Softening them up ever so slightly. Moving into what is going to be a quick rifle round from APEKS. And a pretty decent one at that, of course. No AWP. But other than that, I think they can be pretty happy with this. ESPADA, meanwhile, FAMAS, MP9, Scout still in play. They've got to be prepared for this. And I feel like they have the idea. It can be hard to tell, but I think with like no deagles and just a quick movement from APEKS and the fact that they're falling a bit quickly, I think they're going to be ready for this buy.
Yeah, no doubt. They're going to be prepared. Gotta be aware it's coming. A little bit of a cheeky boost on sight. You see this once in a blue moon to looking towards connector after you need the door open. Can catch someone off guard completely. Now it looks like APEKS slowly grouping scrim, working in towards bathrooms. Gonna work around here. And a spot of 4 members on the B site. A lot of trust in Dexter. And I mean a lot.
Very slow, very quiet here. APEKS really wanting to wind the clock down, and then as soon as I say that, the execute, of course, going to come over the top. Like you said, Dexter, a lot of pressure on his shoulders here. He will take an early peek. Tiny bit of damage, but a nice bit of information gained. He's in such a tough angle, but they line up for him. That is perfection for Dexter. That's exactly what he wanted. The bomb dropped as well. His teammates will come in to help out. Truth and Dennis trying to do what they can here on the T side to fight back. And it is pretty decent. 3 on 2, yes, but 20 HP and 28 HP for Dexter and Sophic, respectively. Another frag coming in. Look how low they all are. It's somehow down to the 1-on-1, but Dexter with the perfect angle again is able to drop Dennis. 4K from him. ESPADA will hold on to their lead, and he is very happy with his performance in that round. A 10th in for ESPADA and APEKS. A half buy at best into the next round. It might go for it. It'd be a little crazy. It would be a little crazy, but they might go for it.
I think they might. Marcellus and AKs will probably armor AK. No, they're halving. Okay, that's smart. Just this off angle from Dexter works so well towards APC. What's wild is I'm pretty sure he trapped his teammate behind him. Like, his teammate was stuck in the corner of APC. So if he didn't get that double spray down, they are both dead. So, bit of miscommunication and positioning. But it works out, and it is a bit of a reserve buy from APEKS. They get a couple of hero AKs. Truth and Dennis should still be able to buy into the next with the lost bonus building. But it's enough to try to get a cheeky round on the board. If ESPADA make a misstep, if Patsy commits too much to one of these pistols and an AK swings, that could just be the round. And Patsy, bang, Dennis rips his head off, gun picked up. ESPADA gonna have to cheat and rotate and help Dexter and Dennis with 2. Whenever they need someone, it's Dennis who steps up. Sophic at APC at truck, and he gets nothing going. What is that? CZ headshot. A $500 pistol sings, and he'll find 2 with 1 clip. I mean, everything just went well for APEKS there. Wow.
Well, I suppose keep knocking at the door, the answer comes, right? Eventually it opens. Even if you have to be a bit harsher with the knocking. APEKS, though, looking pretty damn good as they pick up their 9th. Will continue, they hope, this reign of terror, this streak of terror. ESPADA may maybe going to go for it here. It looks like it. It is tough. I suppose they have to even out the economy, and it was kind of a double eco situation. They've got an M4 in play. Might as well give it a go, lads. And you never know. I'm not sure whether APEKS fully expect this. It looks like another speedy attempt from APEKS coming in, at least initially. But I feel this buy could be effective. Finnegan's made his way through short. Could catch them off guard. It is being watched by an AWP right now, but if the timing's good for him. Meanwhile, Dima is not in a good spot right now. Distracted players, though. Sotfik coming in with the Deeg. Able to find two heads, creating space for the rest of the boys. Down goes the bomb. 4 on 2 with Truth on 6 HP, and it looks like the overwhelming force buy might just do it, unless Marcelius particularly can pull things back.
Oh, Dexter. He's over here with the scout. Patsy, headshot found. Truth up in hand. 2 shots is all he'll require. It's just about isolating and finding the first. With 45 seconds, he has time to dance. He spots Patsy crossing. There you go. Missed shot from Dexter. He's repositioning. I wonder if the comm's going to come in that Truth is weak. Now, that smoke will not cover him from the heaven peak. But Truth's going to dance. Here comes the player out of heaven. And Dexter avoids death to find the USP shot. 11 for ESPADA. APEKS narrowly pulling that one out.
Oh, damn. Certainly heating up towards the end of the map once again. I think it's what we've come to expect from these two teams, to be honest with you. But yeah, really, really, really exciting stuff. And so hard to call as we get into the final bend of this race. Another slow approach from APEKS. Meanwhile, ESPADA have got a lot of players close very early on. I don't know if they're going to continue pushing the case forwards. It doesn't look like it, as, you know, Dexter, he rings off a shot, he drops back, he smokes himself into safety. Meanwhile, those players on long are not moving. It's a sneaky 2-man setup, right, is the whole idea of this. Little do they know, the whole APEKS team is right next door. They do indeed time it well. They could find themselves a cheeky frag or two on the back end. Or they could find the T side coming to them. Marcelius can't react fast enough. Eventually the long haul pays off, but they're not ready for these players in at Bathroom who might just be able to put a crimp in their style right now. Flank coming in onto Sotfik. Doesn't matter. The frontal attack is all that is needed. The 4 on 3 will be successfully secured by APEKS, and the site, I mean, looks set to fall. They do have the rotations in. Dennis is up close on this A-bomb site, and he will at the very least spot 2 of them out. So a quick move to B here for APEKS.
And say advantage is in their court. They have a smoke, a molly, a flash to make it work. Are they just going to contact? The fire gets tossed towards short. Dima, gapped in the smoke, spots the head, finds Truth, dancing around. Finnegan, FAMAS spray, narrowly missing. Bomb needs to get planted, and AKEVS knows it can't happen. He just wants to die before time, and narrowly will. He'll get the money reward, or did he? Oh, he died after time, Scrib, I believe. Because he only has $1,800. I could be wrong, but it seemed like just after time he died.
Rough.
That's kind of brutal. Unless he bought down that low, but I'm not 100% honest or truth or right. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. Still a 12 for ESPADA, no matter which way you cut it, though.
Yeah, I feel, judging by the fact that he's not bought anything here, I'm pretty sure he must have done. And it did say on the hood, -$0, so I don't want to, you know, toot my own horn or anything, but I feel that you might be right. Did die after time. Oh. Truth, I don't think realizes it, but he has been spotted. Still though, they're letting him creep in. Oh. And the molly is panically thrown. Doesn't really land. That's kind of hilarious. Truth, I think, is fearful now that he's been spotted. He's just going to back away and look to join the team on this A attack that will be coming in just a few moments here. Smokes, or just a smoke actually, and a couple of flashbangs, so not a lot to work with. They'll look to burst out. Patsy on top of said smoke is able to find one. Dexter does fall pretty quickly, but the rotations are in. Still only good for one at a time. Patsy, meanwhile, on the edge of the smoke, sets up the rest of the squad perfectly. 13th coming in for ESPADA as they look set to clean things up. Just a few more required, and it has looked like they've found their groove here on the CT side. APEKS are really struggling.
Yeah, definitely. Just not able to facilitate a good opening pick, right? They seemingly are just getting traded left, right, and center from ESPADA. Then by the time they make their mid-round call, either be even or they have a man advantage, they're just not getting the proper info, and ESPADA's sight holes are just cutting them down. That nade should be good. Some chip damage, some free damage. As a nostril flash is lined up to allow a player to push up monster tunnel. Dexter. Concerned about connector, but will stick around for a bit longer. He'll get the tag on Dennis and just back on up. And so far, it's just an exchange of damage across the board.
No frags as yet, so certainly no clear-cut winner coming into this round just yet. Really slow once again from APEKS. This has been their downfall in a number of rounds. They have to be careful. Playing things safe on the ESPADA side as well. Just jump spotting out at B, not really committing too many bodies to the site itself. Waiting for the execute to come in. Dima, oh, yeah, regrets that peek. Finnegan as well, looking to get in quickly. Could get caught off guard here, but no, stays alive. Dexter, good for one, traded back. Meanwhile, Patsy and Finnegan doing what they can to hold things down. One up high, one down low. 3 on 2 for ESPADA, looking really good as more chip damage comes in onto these remaining T-side players. Bit of a cheeky flank from Sotfik. Not looking good. Marcelius is not ready. And it's all on to Akez. 1 on 3. Does find the head of the first. Looking for another quick headshot, but not going to happen for him. 14th for ESPADA coming in. And it is certainly looking like, although close, although clutch is required, they are the better squad. They are in control of this CT side.
Yeah, control through and through. 14 for ESPADA. APEKS, good time for a pause. You'll have a bye. It's going to be the last for a while. And in my opinion, a must-win round to go to the grand finals. And honestly, it's been a very valiant effort, all things considered. Nuke, somewhat dominating. Mirage, really close. A couple rounds or forced by wins in that map could have pushed them over the edge. And now here on Overpass, kind of the same vibes, right? They win a pistol here. They get a couple rifle rounds strung together. This could be a lot closer than it seems. But no more ifs, ands, or buts. It's now or never for APEKS, Scriv, in my opinion.
Needs to work. Needs to work. I agree. It is do or die time. And the precedent that has been set by ESPADA dictates that is going to be real tough. Oh, Dexter. That timing still goes for the repeat, though. Confident as ever. Lands the shot. Not quite the frag, but doing damage. And there's 2 of them working together here. Love this idea of the boost. Just about able to make it in time. Hidden away. Has he been spotted? I'm not sure. I think Marcelius was just kind of pre-firing the angle, if I'm honest. He's crept his way in. Meanwhile, they're expecting 1 player to be here. A second, though? No. Patsy will capitalize on that surprise. Gets a double. Finnegan coming in onto Truth. They have got Connector and Short on lock. Patsy does fall, but he's traded. Marcelius is the only one left. 1 on 4. He's not been having the best of games. That's a nice peak, to be fair to him, but Dima will trade him back. Make sure that ESPADA hit their 15. 6 map and series points to go. Grand final place on the line here. APEKS are going to have to get 6 in a row to take us to overtime.
I mean, just look at this connector setup. Something new from ESPADA, something fresh. Gross and AK is not prepared for it. And just no wins in those 50-50 duels. No trades to be had from APEKS once again on this T side. It's ESPADA running it over. APEKS will take what could be their last pause of the semifinals here. Discussing who's going to buy what, how are we going to spread the wealth around, who needs an AK, well, Truth's playing well, how do we get one in his hands, right? And AKES, I mean, to me, downgrading to a UMP, leaving $600 left over, Scriv, if I may, not the best purchase. I know they need utility, but at the same time, they need firepower, and that was one of the players who could have afforded it. So just an interesting decision to note there. Dennis will do nearly exactly the same, but just interesting choices. Must have a set strat in mind then.
Gonna have to work. There really is no chance. Like both you and I said, the previous round really needed to go their way. Otherwise, the game probably falls with it. Not immediately, but eventually you feel ESPADA with 6 rounds to play with should be able to take things over the line. But who knows? Be able to get it done. I mean, it's been close in the past. Time will tell. Time will indeed tell. Bursting out onto that B-bomb site, Dexter able to find one. Finnegan just about through the smoke. Dima coming in to help him out as well. The chaos that APEKS has created works against them. Truth in a 1-on-4 cannot find a single frag. And ESPADA will clean things up 16-9. It was solid attempts from ESPADA.